It's your boy, it's your Albatross here again with the Cypher Unlimited crew and a couple of special guests. And tonight we're here to play Anthony or Spig 18, his Run Shaw Kung Fu inspired Cypher system game, The Burning of Red Lotus Temple. So we're gonna start things off by introducing each of ourselves and our characters that we're playing. So I am Ancient Albatross, as you might know already. But I am playing, as I call him, Dao Joe, or just as his friends call him, Joe. And his character sentence is a chaotic explorer who needs no weapon. And he needs no weapon because he has drunken fist style. So he's, very adept at using his fists as, protective weapons. And he's a traveling alcohol or liquor merchant. He goes to parties, lavish events, blah blah blah, providing beverages. And yeah,
rice wine for all.
There we go. And my cousin, and I'll have him introduce himself next, is Xiao Ho, or as my character calls him, Xiao Xiao. So Xiao, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Hello everyone, I'm Jesus. I'll be playing Hosao. Hosao is a learned speaker who needs no weapon. He needs no weapon because he studies Hungar. He sells exotic animals and he studies them to practice his martial arts.
Nice.
Oh, sorry. I forget that it's on me to move this on. Sorry. Either way, let's go with Jim. Jim, who are you playing?
Good evening, folks. I'm Jim. I use he, him pronouns, and I am playing Shang Quan, who is a serene warrior who defends the weak. He is a Shaolin monk and a martial arts instructor.
Cool. All right, and Mr. Dean?
Well, yeah, as the world knows me, it's Alpha Dean, AD, Dean, whichever one strikes your fancy. Today I'll be playing Kai, a graceful warrior who masters weaponry. And Kai is from the sister temple to the Red Lotus known as the Jade Orchid from the north. And he's here, because he's known for the weapons mastery of the of the Jade Orchid, and he's coming to trade secrets with the Red Lotus Temple.
And that lastly leaves us with our magnificent GM, who almost needs no introduction. So,
hey everybody, it's Spigs 18 from Cypher Unlimited. Anthony, also known on the internet. So I also use he, him pronouns. And today we're playing The Burning of Red Lotus Temple. Just so we'll give you a little backdrop. It's 200 BC. It's China, smack in the middle of the Han Dynasty era. And the Red Lotus Temple has been run by generations, several hundred years by the Lin family. And the current master of the Red Lotus Temple when we start the game is Master Lin Cho. The 4 players are all somehow either working at the temple or merchants traveling to or selling various supplies to the Red Lotus Temple. And if we don't have any, anyone else has anything else to say? Oh, one last thing. I'm sorry, I forgot. Most of the foci and descriptors were written by our very own Alpha Dean, and it's for his Hungar martial arts supplement that's soon to be out on the Cypher Creator Program. It should be out soon, right, Dean?
Yeah, I'm about 80% done. Just got to get a layout.
And I could personally tell you because I used I was privileged enough to get his notes beforehand, and I used most of them to craft the characters that these wonderful gentlemen will be playing today.
Awesome.
So if anyone else has anything to say, we could just get right into it.
I think we're good to go.
All right, we're going to open our game with a camera panning down an overview of the majestic Red Lotus Temple. And you see the temple as the camera slowly starts to pan down, it pans into an open courtyard where you see an old man with silver hair surrounded by students wearing yellow and gold with a green trim monk garb. They all seem to be mesmerized by what appears to be two small insects around a 5-foot beaded circle. As the camera view pans closer into the circle, you see that there is a green prey mantis fighting off what appears to be a black widow spider. The mantis moves with death-defying motions while it stands on its hind legs. With its constant movement, all the while dodging all the spider's counterattacks. Then you see Master Lin turn to the students and say, "You see? You see how he moves? There is no wasted motion, children. He's allowing his instincts to dictate what actions must be taken. There is never thinking, just doing. That is what all of you must learn," says Master Lin to this crowd of children. We learn our biggest lessons from the smallest of Buddhist creatures. Master Lin then slowly goes to pick up the mantis right after it lands a series of quick strikes, immobilizing the spider in its place. He picks up the mantis and pulls it in a small emerald box, which is covered with the image of a red lotus on it. He hands it to his youngest son, Ling Fei, who has a smirk on his face as he turns around and says, "I told you Father's mantis is always undefeated." And he hands the immobilized spider to Hao. How does your character look? Jesus?
So
Oh,
yes.
Oh.
All right. I'm rather calm, relatively young man, very agile, very fit, and wearing like traditional garments. I kind of just gleefully like take what I'm given and smile.
I thought you had all the great animals. Is that your best fighter? And he looks over your shoulder to Al's character.
all right. So what you see behind what you call it, Xiao Xiao as I call him, as he's accepting the mantis from the master, you see like we have our traveling merchant cart. Like, you know, you see there's like cages of small animals or whatever have you, trapping tools, etc. And there's also on the lower side of it, there's like a little like bar basically. You see jugs of various different liquors and wines, a lot of rice wines. And you see that you know, I'm wearing something similar to what Xiao Xiao is wearing, but it's a little more raggedy, as I don't really care too much to upkeep my appearance. We did come to the palace though, so you do see that, like, again, it doesn't look too great, but I do have a little flower like pinned like on my whatever, my tunic
Lapel.
or whatever you call it. But yeah, that's what you see over Xiao Xiao's shoulder there. And I'm just really minding the beverages at this point, just like mixing stuff. Like,
As he says that, Fang comes over and he sticks his palm out. He goes, I believe that's 2 copper pieces you owe me?
to me,
Ah.
Yeah.
I would say I look over to two copper pieces for like, I'm still like, I have like mid mixing beverage. I'm like, 2 copper pieces. A
Yes,
question mark.
don't you remember you said that your cousin spiders
I'll take a sip of it.
would definitely take care of my father's mantis, and you were dead wrong.
I'll take a sip of whatever I'm mixing at the moment.
I turn over to him like, "What? Oh, I will pay for my cousin."
Yeah, I say, yeah, that's exactly. As soon as he says, I say, that's the man you want to see. And I like keep, you know.
He takes your pencil, he takes your 2 coppers and you see him put it in a pouch that's next to his beautifully gold and green sash, and you notice that there's a money purse there, and he puts them in there, right? As he takes the money. You hear footsteps from behind you, the sound of many footsteps, almost like a small regiment of soldiers marching. And
Ooh.
from behind the courtyard, you see two men appear. One is Kai, and the other is Quan. And behind them are about 20 with Red Lotus Temple guards marching in unison. And Quan is holding a scroll with looks like a red seal on it. Quan, you know that this scroll comes from the Emperor, from the capital, and it's addressed to Master Lin Chao. How does Quan look?
So Quan has, it's kind of hard to tell how old Quan is, but he does have a slight hint of gray at the temples. Basically has long pulled back hair. He's wearing a very dark robe. So it looks like it's probably jet black, but with a lot of pinpoints of patterns of stars on it. That for anyone into astronomy is sort of resembles sort of the black tortoise, and as he's kind of more from the north, and he has a pensive look on his face, look of consternation, but then he rarely has any other look.
And right next to him is Kai. How does Kai look?
Well, Kai is dressed in dark jade robes. He has the black orchid symbol from the Jade Orchid Temple. He wears this hat, and he looks relatively young, but you can almost see there seems to be a nonchalance about him, but if you look closer, you can tell that he's very focused. His eyes never in one place, always watching his surroundings.
You see immediately as you're walking with this, small regiment of temple soldiers behind you, that Lin Wei, Master Lin's oldest son, immediately stands up, and he sees that Quan is holding some sort of scroll, and he actually walks to meet you halfway, and sticks his hand out for the scroll. He goes, "What is this? You do know Master Lin does not like to be disturbed when he's talking to the students."
This is from the Emperor, and it must only be seen by Master Lin.
You see him bow, and he extends his hand to take the scroll.
Am I to only deliver it directly into Master Lin's hand, or do I know this? Do I know his son well enough to know that he'll do what's needed?
Yeah, you definitely know that he will do what's needed. He's actually second in command of the Red Lotus Temple. He's the heir to the to be the next master. He's the eldest of the Lin family, the eldest boy of the Lin family.
I will nod, and very reverentially I will hand him the scroll.
He takes the scroll from your hand, and he puts his hand on your shoulder to acknowledge the good work you have done, and he walks over towards his father and hands him he actually doesn't say anything, but he bows his head and just extends the scroll. You see Master Lin turn around, as he was laughing and smiling with the children, not really paying attention to the wonderful entrance your guys made. And he looks up, and he immediately sees the wax marking on the scroll of the capital and the Emperor's seal in particular, and he grabs it and cracks the seal and opens it in front of everyone. And you see his expression change from one of joy to seriousness immediately. His eyebrows, frown, and he looks up and he goes, "Children, our lessons are done for the day. Please return to your dorms and reflect on today's teachings. Hurry now, children, hurry." As the children slowly start to make their way out of the courtyard, The emperor turns to the four of you and his two sons, and he says, "It seems the emperor needs my services again. There is some sort of conflict in the southern provinces. The emperor fears that the Mongolians are stretching their reach and have been attacking small towns and villages. Assemble my legion," as he looks at his oldest son and says, "We ride at dawn." Then he looks at you, Quan, and he says, "Do not let this hasten our preparations for me and her, and to continue her studies and her coming of age ceremony. Hopefully, I can return in time for her special day. Nana will be in charge of the day-to-day operations of the temple. Quan will be in charge of all the students, and Kai will be in charge of the temple defenses. We will leave 25 of our best soldiers for you, Kai, but unfortunately, I must take the rest with me. As always, my two sons shall come with me into battle."
I bow.
You see one of his sons, the oldest, he has like an immediately smirk on his face, like glee and happiness. The other one has an indifferent look about him. He's not smiling, but he's not showing any outright, disapproval. His mood seems to have changed.
Were we close enough to see all this happening? Me and
Yes.
Xiao?
Yeah.
I'm drinking all this. If I hear any of it, like, I'm assuming they're talking loud enough that all of us nearby can hear. So I just look over at Xiao like, this is crazy. What's going on here? I take a sip of my drink some more, like, and I'm not like exactly whispering, so like they might be able to hear what I'm saying too, but I'm like, what's going on?
I keep it a bit quieter. It's like, it seems this place is under invasion. We must prepare in case we are called on to defend the earth.
They are
Do you say
paying
that?
us.
Do you say that loud enough? Like who do you
I'm
say
keeping that very low.
Yeah, to me directly. Yeah.
You hear murmurs from the foot soldiers that were behind saying the southern provinces are being invaded again by the Mongolians? Didn't we go through this about 2 years ago? You hear like the murmurs of the soldiers saying, and you hear another one saying, "I hope I'm one of the 25 to stay."
Oh, jeez. I mean, I just nudged Xiao. I mean, I guess they are paying us, so they need our help. Might have to give it.
The emperor gets up, and as soon as he gets up, his two sons, follow him immediately. As you see, he starts heading, to a separate building, to his private chambers. Is anybody? He's leaving at dawn. Is anybody planning to do anything within this night?
Drink.
Mm.
A lot.
Make sure he doesn't drink too much.
But definitely getting most of the drinks ready, like, making sure it tastes right, obviously. That's all I'd be doing during the night. And then crashing after getting drunk. Like in like a pile of like a bay of hail or something. I don't know what would be like some similar thing in a temple, but whatever. Like I just just pass out in something like that. Pile of trash. I don't know.
Where are your guys staying at? Oh, your guys.
Can I have one of my animals perform at the ceremony? Like do a little trick or something?
Yeah, the ceremony isn't for 2 weeks though. You talking about?
No, so I'd just be training it.
Yeah.
I mean, I would be staying probably with wherever our cart would be parked, since it has all the supplies that, for our traveling merchant stuff, and then I would have all the ingredients and stuff for my liquor churning. And then I would pass out drunkenly nearby afterwards. I would not seek lodging of any sort. It would just be like in the bushes or like what. Like I said, I don't know what the equivalent would be in a temple of just whatever pile of nonsense like a fallout.
I mean, I'm sure that they will have merchant quarters.
I would not seek them out.
Oh, so you want to stay in like the stables or something like that?
Wherever. All right. So where would our cart be situated? we're like logistically would it be parked somewhere overnight while we wait for the ceremonies? Like, is there a designated area where the merchant goods are kept?
Yeah, I mean there would be a merchant hall, but you actually, you can have a cart set up in the merchant hall, but this is just so you get a basic idea. This temple houses about 1,000 people, and half of them are students, a third of them are soldiers, and the rest are monks, and the actual day-to-day wait staff, like the help.
Well, then I probably, depending on how big our cart was and how big the the merchant quarters or whatever are, I would probably wheel it to wherever we would have slept or kept our goods, mix the stuff there, and then passed out next to it. I wouldn't have gone unless for some reason that big cart fits in our room. Then yeah, but it would be wherever it's normally kept.
Over the course of the night, you hear horns and soldiers being dispatched to all the villages because he's calling all his bannermen. The Red Lotus Temple, Master Link can raise about 1,500 soldiers. So over the course of that whole night, you hear horns blaring, and people coming back with, I have 50 soldiers, I have 100 soldiers, as he's raising his, essentially he's raising his army to march to the southern provinces. What is Kai? Did Kai do anything over the night once he heard that he'll be in charge of the temple's defenses while Master Lin was gone?
Well, Kai has a very interesting regiment that he does on a consistent basis. His sword techniques are based on the times of day. So, at specific hours, he's always, you can find him on the training grounds. And right about now it's twilight. So he's practicing what's known as his twilight touch sword techniques. And he's just, again, he moves with a preternatural gracefulness, but those eyes always watching, just making sure everything is in order. The 25 soldiers that were assigned to him, he's basically giving them rotational orders where he has 12 soldiers always basically monitoring, and the other and then there's 13 soldiers who are or the other 12 soldiers who are resting, and then there's a runner who basically will dispatch information back and forth. But this way he keeps the soldiers fresh, and they're always prepared.
Quan, did Quan do anything after receiving the information that the master was leaving the temple?
Yes. That evening, just basically, I kind of am, since I assume it's been a little while since I've been here, I'm going to be watching, just observing the students somewhat, so I can sort of try to gauge kind of a little bit about their natures and what they, what sort of level they might be at. Although the more formal, I assume, getting into that will happen in the morning. And I will also actually, since I'm May's instructor as well, I will check on her to make sure she's all right.
All right. So we'll do that scene. That okay. You go into the main courtyard where Master Lin, his sons, May, all live. She actually, let's say it's a 5-story temple, and she's on the top story all to herself. And as you rapping on the door, you hear whimpering sounds.
And I will, I will softly, sort of, after hearing that, I will say, May, it's fun. It's fun, Shane. Are you all right?
Yeah, yes, Master. Hold on one second. Come in.
Very good. And I'll pause for a moment to give her a moment to, if she needs to collect herself or whatever. And I will open the door.
You open the door. You see that she has a balcony, but the doors are wide open, and since it's nighttime, the wind's blowing in, and she's fully dressed, with the outfit she had on from her morning lessons. She hasn't changed one bit, and she's sitting on her bed, stroking what looks like a lemur, and it's sitting up, and she's like, "Chow, chow, chow, chow. Yes, master." As she slowly starts wiping what's the obvious tears coming down her face. "May I help you with something, master? Did I not hand in all my lessons?"
Your lessons have been most satisfactory. I merely come on this eve to make certain that you are well, because there is, I think, perhaps greater than anyone, the responsibility that you're about to undertake.
I know father must leave. Nai came and told me so. Father is old, master. He cannot continue to fight another man's problems.
He has to do as he is commanded, and he does so willingly because he believes in what he is defending, what you represent to him, the future. Can you be strong for him?
I am a Lin. I must be strong. I must maintain the family honor. I just wish it wasn't so. I don't think I'm ready, master.
I will tell you something. None of us is truly ready for fate when something occurs to us, when something happens. We must simply flow like water to incorporate what is thrown at us.
You see her put a slight smirk on her face. "You sound like father now." As she starts wiping the tears, she goes, "You right. What was I thinking? Chow, chow. Let's get. I must prepare to get ready for bed. Father's ceremony in the morning for leaving. Thank you, master."
Okay. I have faith that you will be the best of us. And I will just bow, and then I will step out.
You see, as you close the door, you see, like, maybe you make it halfway. We're gonna say that your room is in this palace because you're her personal instructor.
Yeah.
What floor are you on?
I think that if I'm do I also ever take on any of the other students, or is this an unusual thing that's happening?
You normally, the only people you've trained at the Red Lotus is May and his youngest son, which is Fang. Fang was your first student, and May has been your second student.
Okay. Yeah, so that being the case, I'm probably not too far. I'm not probably not too far down, because it's kind of my duty to make sure that even as they are using their skills, that they are at the point that they are that if they're not fully prepared, that falls on me. So I have to be ready to do whatever I need to help them defend themselves if need be.
And not only do you train them in martial arts, but you also train them in etiquette, reading, writing. You basically everything.
Okay.
All around.
I am probably not too far removed from them. If there is like a library or something along that, I'm probably fairly close to that, I would guess. Then.
Okay, so since that is the case, we're gonna say that you actually on the same floor in the temple library.
Okay. That works.
And the only other person that stays on the 5th floor is also Nai, who's she's an older lady. She's probably in her 70s, and she's in charge of all the domestic servants, all the cooks, the laundry, she basically runs the temple, all the day-to-day operations.
Cool.
All right, so we cut back to the next morning. You hear the horn sound as the camera pans to the front of Red Lotus Temple, which is on a mountainside, and there's about 1,000 steps that leads down from this mountainside. And all along the steps, you see all the students wearing their monk attires, from the very front to the oldest, all the way down to the bottom. And everyone is lined up. On the bottom of the of the entrance to the temple, you now see Master Lin in his, he has what looks like green and gold, like intertwined plated armor. And the front of it is the insignia of the Red Lotus Temple, which is a red lotus over a green field. He's also brandishing a spear, who has the tip of the spear is the actual lotus with bladed edges, and it's made of like solid gold. Behind him are his 2 sons, also wearing armor. One is brandishing 2 short swords, and the other one has what looks like a plain wooden staff. Behind them is regiment upon regiment, about 1,500 soldiers lined up. He has his about 50 or so on horseback, like father and sons, and the rest are on foot. And you see several bannermen, all holding the sigil of the Red Lotus Temple. The 4, Kai and Quan are sitting all the way at the top of the steps with Lin Mei, Nai, and a couple of soldiers. And she sits on a gold chair holding what looks like a scepter with a jade red lotus on it, a jade lotus on the top with what looks like a red emerald. And either one, you're on either side of her, overlooking, this view of this, pretty substantial army. I would guess that Dao and Cho are down below with the rest of the regular servants and other merchants, just watching this whole display of power right before they march off.
We're with with the merchants, commoners, etc. servants. Yeah. I'm assuming we have again our cart or whatever next to us or whatever, like some sort of small thing. But either way, I'm leaning against it or sitting down and sleeping through this.
Well,
I'm not paying attention. Like I'm just
what kind of cart do you have?
So
is it like
the way I'm picturing is like it's hard to describe, but like a big, think like Kung Fu Panda, like how the dad has that noodle cart that he like pushes around, like something like that. But like but it's like a little bit bigger on the top. Like I said, like for Xiao Xiao, he would have like a couple animals maybe, or not even animals in cages, but maybe a couple cages or trappings or stuff like that.
So
I'll let him describe that part of the cart. But the bottom part has like the liquor and stuff.
So, but is it a single man cart then? Or is it a cart that like one person could push it around?
I would say it would be hard for one person to push it around, but if 2 people did it, it'd be much easier. Awesome. Yeah. Like it'd be a very slow push, for one person to push it.
So I would guess for this scene you don't have your cart then.
All right, so
this is just a whole bunch of people just start watching.
So for me, I'm just sitting down, just cross-legged, like I'm just still like hungover or whatever from the previous night of preparing drinks.
In contrast to that, I'm watching intently. I'm gonna go ahead and roll to see how battle ready they are. I'm gonna
Okay.
use my warfare knowledge skill.
hmm
You can't discern anything.
What did you
Might
get?
be a little.
You rolled a 3.
Yeah, they look pretty tough to you. Yeah. And one thing you do know, because you're all from the closest village, you do know that Master Lin and his sons are world-renowned warriors. You know that Master Lin is a expert martial artist that's feared and loved throughout all of China.
Surely this will stop the Mongolians.
Oh. Like, you say that out loud, I'm just like, oh. I'm like half asleep.
I look over to Joe and just kind of like nudge him a little bit.
Oh.
Be
You see,
respectful, Joe.
as you like you hear the murmurs. They're about to leave, and you see Master Lin raises his spear, and then he tips it like vertically, and it's almost like he's looking directly at May, and he bows. Your guys here, he's handing over power, and then
And
May, yeah.
As this is all going on, if I may, since my character is the graceful one, I want to do that typical kung fu movie, Shaw Brothers and down the steps, where I'm, barely touching them, and of course my sword out in front of me, where it's non-threatening as I float down, and on one knee, I will drop in front of the master and go, on behalf of the Jade Abbot, I first thank you for the honor of protecting your temple. But I must ask you, accept this and perhaps it will serve you well in battle. And I offer him a traditional Jade Orchid dagger, because we're known for our weapons crafting and all of that. And hope this serves you well in battle, Master Lin.
You see, he extends his hand off from the horseback, and he looks at the dagger, he takes it, and he goes, I have no doubt that you are the perfect person to protect this temple. But most importantly, please protect my daughter.
It shall be done.
He takes the blade, and you see him squeeze the blade from the like, not the hilt end, as the blood starts to drip, from his hand, and you see it land on the sand right before your foot. He goes, with my blood shall be your bond to this temple now.
I give him the...
And then he takes the thing, and you see his two sons kind of look at you with like this, quizzical look.
Like, where's ours?
And then he bows his head, and May gets up and extends her scepter, and she sticks her hand out to grab Kwan's hand as she does. And you could visibly see that her hand is shaking.
This is something that this would be something she kind of needs to be able to do by herself. I won't, so I will not take her hand, but I will do the thing where it's like, I will very gently, just kind of reach over briefly. I assume that hand's down, right? I assume, yeah. Okay. Just very briefly, I'll reach over and just give like the sort of the very brief, like sort of like, you've got this, sort of basically.
A slight tap on the hand.
Very, very, yes. The good, the I am here for you, but you have this type deal.
As you do that, she extends the scepter up. She raises her head, and you could see like even by not touching her, you gave her like a jolt of confidence, and all the students now turn and face the mistress of the temple, as in almost symbolically giving her control over the Red Lotus temple. And you see Master Lin smirk a little as he turns his horse, and you hear the horde sounds of the Red Lotus temple is once again marching to war.
Did anybody like cheer, or like the commoners or servants, like when she like basically announced that
Are you gonna start a slow clap like
No, no. I'm wondering because I'm wondering if there will be something loud to wake me up, like because if there's something loud, I would wake up like yeah.
I mean, you would hear the horns sounding because now there's horns blaring from the soldiers turning. They're actually marching.
So I would just wake up, not clap, like, oh, is it going? I look up at Xiao.
They're heading off to war now.
Oh.
I'd like to roll a weapons training to see if I recognize the dagger.
You wouldn't have actually seen the dagger. He already put it in the thing. Okay. You could roll. You got to start. Remember I said how it's like 1,000 steps. This is all the way in the bottom. You actually on the temple.
Oh, I'm on the top. Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
As they start, you see the students slowly start to come in, and the power has been transferred to May, right? And it goes back to the day-to-day operations. You hear throughout the course of the day, especially you two, your guys hear, that Master Lin is gonna kill him some Mongolians. Everything's gonna be fine. He does this every 2 or 3 years or so. The emperor depends on his greatest general, to save the day. And, the general mood around the temple is jovial. Like everyone is still prepping. Your guys are still prepping for the ceremony. Matter of fact, during the rest of that day, several other vendors, merchants start arriving, like the meat merchants, the fine silk merchants. Surprisingly, there's another rice wine merchant that shows up.
Competition.
And the courthouse is busy. It seems to be a normal day. But later that evening, you start to hear the defense horns from the tower sound off.
Well, you said it's in the evening? Like, is it like in the middle of the night type evening, or?
I would say more like 7, 8 p.m.
All right, I got you. So, I would think, like, because you mentioned the other rice wine merchant, I feel like I would be hanging out with that person whenever, like, just trading secrets, seeing who could drink more or whatever. So
your guys could be at the merchant, like I said, that there's merchant quarters and now the merchant's quarters are starting to get full because, now you have maybe about 8 or 9 different merchant carts, or, because everyone wants to get early to get the best, it's first come, first serve for the vendors, because this ceremony is going to bring in several villages to the temple to celebrate, the coronation of Master Lin's daughter.
Gotcha. I mean, again, I would just be as soon as that alarm sounds, right before that happened, I would have been chilling with that guy or person, or whatever, 1 or 2 people, however many, and drinking, whatever. I mean, that's just what Dajo would be doing.
Kai, you hear the alarm start sounding.
I go right to the front, where report.
When you arrive, what you see is light, like torches, and it looks like a long line, maybe 200-300 villagers climbing up the steps to the temple. And the first thing you notice is women, children. They seem to be carrying whatever they can on their backs.
All right, I'll go to the one who looks most coherent. What's going on? What happened?
Are you going? They trying to make their way. Because the temple has gates. You don't have like an open entrance,
right?
And it's in the middle of the night, so I'm assuming your gates would be closed unless you leave them open.
No, they would be closed.
You what you call it? So what are you gonna do? You're gonna open the gates. You hear the horn sound like someone's approaching the temple.
Well, I'll find out. I should have somebody to give me a report. The captain of the guard,
Yeah.
sergeant.
What's your captain of the guard called? Who's your captain of the guard?
Huang Cho.
Wang Cho. Just so you know, you didn't get the best of the best. So we're gonna say that out of the 25 soldiers that were left behind, 15 are probably competent. 5 of them are probably actually good. The other 10 are, either out of shape, old, or just plain useless.
Okay.
But Wang Cho is probably one of the 5 that are actually, good. And he goes, Ty, you see this?
What's going on? Did you give me a report?
It seemed like damn near the whole village. I think those are the villagers from Chantal.
I go down to the gate. There should be an exit out that I can go now without opening the whole gate up.
Yeah, okay. Yep. That's canon now. There's a side entrance. So
I step out.
How far is this side, since you made that canon, how far is this side entrance from the main gates?
Probably it's probably just secluded off maybe 50 feet, but it's kind of hidden. So it kind of, it's got
and do you need a key to open that door?
Yes.
Okay.
So basically it's like one of those, you know how you have the door, the false wall where it comes a little further. So I can come out the door and then there's still a space for me, so it doesn't look like there's a break or any door. It's hidden. So, I'll come out.
And can we say that key has a lotus, like the end of the key is a lotus?
Absolutely.
Like it has a lotus petal.
Right.
And there's only 5 copies of that key. 1 for Master Lin, 1 for you, the head of the guard, which was transferred to you.
Right.
His 2 sons and Nine are the only people that have those keys.
Perfect. So yeah, I'll slip out and I'll go to one of the first people getting towards the gate. What's going on?
The first person you see that's leading this whole group of people is an older man, and he has a small child in his hand, no more than 4, and he's like, "Buddha's name be praised. We need sanctuary from the temple. Our village has been attacked."
By whom?
I do not know them, but they bear the sigil of the tiger.
And how many people does it look like is coming?
Give me a roll to see if you can get a good. Right now, it looks like hundreds of people, but perception. Yeah, at least you would think that you've been to Shantou Village. You know that Shantou Village has maybe about 500 people. This is like 2/3.
Wow.
Okay.
And one thing you also notice too, that there's very few men. Most of them are either women, children, and what men you do see are older men.
I look at him, I go, what happened at the village?
We were celebrating the horns blaring of Master Lin heading to the southern provinces when arrows were fired into our homes and they caught a blaze. And then shortly thereafter, they came. They said something of a priest. I believe his name is Pai Mei.
Do I know that name?
Everyone's heard of Priest Pai Mei.
Okay.
He is the equivalent of Master Lin, for the Wudang.
Okay.
But he's more of a legend. Like you don't know anyone that's actually seen him. But the name Priest Pai Mei is very feared. Especially you would definitely know him because of you're a martial artist.
I look at the old man and go, Now holler up.
And Priest Pai Mei is also Manchurian, by the way.
Okay. I look up towards the top of the gate, and I go, breach the gate halfway. Allow these people in.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. He starts kissing your hand and bowing like as low as he could go. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Buddha's name be praised. Buddha's name be praised. I knew the temple would take us in. Thank you, sir.
And while they're, all excited, I slip back in through the secret entrance.
All right. We're gonna say that, as you know, the gates. These are two big, massive wooden gates. I mean, metal gates that open inward or outward, Dean.
Probably outward.
So they open them halfway ajar. You see the people start flooding in. Joe, you in the courtyard drinking, and now you just see it's 8 o'clock at night, and you see all these people start flooding into the courtyard where the gates were opened, and these people all look familiar to you. They look like people from your village.
Look over to Xiao Xiao. Are you next to me, Xiao? I don't know what you're doing. I don't want to.
I'd be there.
I look over to say, I like do a double or quadruple take of like looking at him, looking at the people storming through. Look, is that what's his face from the village? And I'm just pointing at some random. It's like, why are the people from Shantou here? Have I been? Did they hear that I was here making alcohol? Did they want to come have some?
And as you see that, you see
kids.
You see on closer inspection as they flooding into this courtyard, you see that a lot of them have like blood splatter on their faces. They, you see wounded a lady that her arm appears to be in a sling, and the blood stain is through the wrappings.
The town was attacked when the master left.
I just take a big old drink, like after I noticed the things you described. Slam it down on like whatever counters there, and I look over to Xiao Xiao. It's like, we might have to get involved. They're attacking the town.
Time to do so.
All right,
I mean, just out of curiosity, if you guys are from this town, do you have family that live in the town? Like, is it your mother there, your father there?
I'm
brother,
drunk
sister
constantly. I would say that I'll let I would say that not my direct family, but maybe I'm staying with his family, my cousin's family, Xiao Xiao. Like my mother, father, maybe not, but maybe his family took me in, my drunk ass off the streets. But that would be. I don't want to dictate that if that's not what Jesus wants. But
that sounds pretty fun. Sure.
Yeah, they took me in. I was too drunk for.
I think I'd still have like both parents alive, so they'd be probably in this crowd.
Are you doing anything about it, or just?
No, I'm gonna go investigate what's happening.
Yeah, and I follow with them. I said, do you see? What I see, uncle and auntie, because they're your parents. Do you see uncle and auntie? I don't know. Can I make a roll to see if we recognize anybody?
Yeah, because now everybody's flooding in. Yeah, it'll be difficult to roll. But you see now the courtyard is full of people, and you also see that several of the monks are bringing out bales of water and fresh linen.
I rolled a 17, yeah.
You see Auntie, and she's pulling what looks like a small wagon that has like it looks like the whatever valuables your guys had in your, like all the valuables that your guys had in your house, but you don't see your uncle.
I rush over.
I rush
Yeah.
to take the wagon, and I'm just like, where's father?
Duh. She immediately just puts her head in your shoulder and starts crying.
I see this.
I hold her as the realization that my father is probably dead suddenly hits me, and my face grows more solemn as the camera gets close up.
As your face, you see the stern look on your face. Now you hear cries all throughout the courtyard of, he's gone, they killed him. And it's your sorrow intensified by 200, as there's several other people feeling the same pain. The realization that family members have either been slain or missing. We cut to Quan, who's standing over the balcony entrance with May. And May looks at you, Quan, and goes, what is going on? Oh, is that the Chateau village? Were they under attack?
We're just sort of looking.
I'll send a runner.
Mhm.
I'll send a runner, one of the guards, to up to the temple to report to May.
Mm. Oh, so say what you was gonna say, Quan?
I'm just going to say it looks it.
And as you say that, you hear a knock on the door.
Just go up and go over
Yeah, you go open the door, and he goes, Master, the mistress, could you allow the mistress to know that we allow Chateau Village safe passage into the temple? They seem to be attacked. We believe them to be Manchurians with a eagle sigil. I mean, a tiger sigil.
Of course. Yeah.
What does she wish us to? Does she have any orders for us, Master?
A moment, and I will retreat, and I will go over to her, and I will relay the information. Let her know that it seems that the village was attacked by Manchurians bearing the tiger symbol.
You see her her knuckles are almost white from holding on to the banisters tight.
They have been allowed in as refugees.
Make sure everyone is fed, because that's what Father would have did. The temple, we are here, if nothing but to serve the people.
I'll do it. I will go. I will immediately turn back around, and I will relay that to the messenger.
What I do, well, while whatever's going on, I go to Wang.
Mm-hmm.
I said, Wang, who's the best man we have here who can be a scout? Who's the best scout?
You see, have you seen our soldiers, sir?
That's why I'm asking you this question. You know them better than I.
I would maybe say Z. He's the youngest. Z Wow. He's the youngest.
Bring him to me.
Very right, sir. I will get him now. And you see him march off. A few short minutes later, he comes in with what looks like a 17-year-old kid, where his guard outfit barely fits him. And he bows down. You requested to see me, sir.
On your feet.
Yes, sir.
I have something very important for you to do, and the first thing you're going to do is take that uniform off. It doesn't fit anyway. I want you to get some civilian clothes on, something that looks poor, like as if you were a member of the town. And I need you to go down carefully and scout. See what you can see. Don't be a hero.
Yes, sir.
Your job is just reconnaissance.
Do you need? Is there anything you're looking for in particular, sir?
Numbers. How many officers?
I will leave at once, sir. I will go change now. And you see him scurry off to change his clothes.
It is big armor.
I look at Wang, I go, this isn't good.
Now the courtyard, no one's been able to get. It's basically they've been feeding and housing these people. They brought out as many mats as they could, and there's just people sleeping in the barn, sleeping in the shed, sleeping in the courtyard itself. Like every space that's available. The kitchen has been running, making what you call it dumplings and rice cakes all night, trying to feed everybody. Here, you guys heard the various horror stories that they were killing any young adult male on sight and burning and pillaging, all the houses. They also said something about, you heard murmurs something about that they were planning to head further south to meet with the Mongolians. And something about trapping Master Lin. But you can't tell how truthful it is, because this has just been like you're getting this information from little children and older ladies who they possibly heard in passing or something like this as they were escaping out of the village. But you do know that there's very few adult male bodies, that all of them were killed on sight.
Come in. Oh, sorry.
I thought you was talking to me.
No. 1 second. I'll be right back.
If I may.
Yes.
With May's permission, if she permits it, I would like to make certain that the students are prepared to just sort of doing a little bit of training with an eye toward defending everyone, and defending each other. And if she's willing, I'd actually like her to be part of that training.
That's absolutely
among them as one of them.
How many of age students do you think you have?
You said that there were approximately how many students overall did you say that there were?
Let's say there's maybe a total of 400.
There were like 400. So in terms of age, I have a feeling it's probably maybe something like 1/3 of them. Probably at best. I feel like since this is generations population doing what they do, that's probably most of the students here are probably pretty young.
Yeah. All right, so
probably would say 10% of them are senior students.
All right, so we're gonna say that you have. We say you probably have 100, 125 that are of age. But not just because you're a student of the temple doesn't mean that you're a martial arts student. They come to the temple. Yeah. Half of them come actually the majority of the students come to be religious monks. So out of that 125, we'll say that you have about 20 that are actually also take martial arts training.
Okay. Well, today everyone's going to get a little. There's still things you can do, even if you're not trained, even if you're not an expert. There's still things you can learn quickly, simple things to help defend yourself and help defend your neighbor, but your friend, your family. Others.
So, do you have anything to roll against this, and we'll see how successful?
I have no idea.
You have anything that help you? I will say that you try to give them a crash course on self-defense, correct?
Basically, and it's really so basic. What I'm focusing on is people working together working with each other. A lot of it is sort of philosophically, I'm kind of doing stuff that sort of flows through the Tao, because hopefully it's something that they've heard of, in terms of basically embracing others, and you will be embraced, so that you can work with each other. Even though it's you knowing yourself as an individual is important, but then also knowing everyone else. So I'm just looking at. Let me see if I can find any things that I have. My skills are, let's see, weightlifting, strength, might, defense, initiative, acrobatics.
If anything, you can always use effort.
Ignoring the effects of fear, intimidation, or... Here's an idea. So I have let me know if I can bend this way. I have an intellect skill, ignoring the effects of fear, intimidation, or panic. I can help teach others a little bit using that? This is mostly the idea, is to keep them from panicking when things get real, basically.
I would definitely say yes, because I assume when you arrive to the dormitory area, it's pandemonium going on already, because like it's not a small temple, but news travels fast. So like they all at this time, half the classmates should have been in bed, but all the kids are awake. Like some are nervous, some are excited, and you call in all the students together, and you give this speech. We're gonna say that it's gonna be a difficulty 4 roll, but your ability knocks it down to a 3, and you could apply effort to knock it down 1 further.
I think I will apply effort.
I definitely want these people to know what they're doing, or at least be calm during the.
Okay, I have no edge in intellect, so this is going to be 3 off of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm a little rusty. Okay.
So it's a 6 or better.
Okay, and I'm gonna roll intellect.
All right. So what do you want them to do if something does happen? Is there a series of directions that you want your students to follow?
Those who are basically the ones that I know are like rank amateurs. Basically, they become kind of escorts for each other, and for some of the some of the villagers that have come in, get them to the center of the temple, basically to whatever part of the temple is going to use, is best protected, just so it's basically sort of a drill in that sense. Again, as far as anything martial arts wise, it's just very basic defense. Grab a stick, and hold it like this. The very, very, very just simple 1, 2, 3 moves that they can do. And
you just mentioned something that I find curious. So like every other temple, I would assume that they have some sort of, in case of emergency, like fallout shelter. So are you saying that the center of the temple is the in case of emergency fallout temple for everyone? Like they all head to this one particular safe location?
I feel as though that's probably that's probably what it would be, because I think the thing they'd want to protect the most, really, it's probably the main somewhere either just at the main training ground or just beneath it, because the thing they're going to want to protect the best are the youngest students.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So it's underground. There's a series of steps, and
I think so.
And we're going to say that the only thing in this place is what looks like a stone Buddha with lighting, like torches, and we're going to say that it could house maybe about 600-700 people down there.
Yeah.
And there's enough.
That sounds good.
And there's enough food, to last a month. Food, like it's basically like the fallout shelter.
Do we actually have the 1 XP?
Yes, everyone has 1 XP.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna blow my 1 XP right now for a player intrusion to add on to that.
Sure.
To add on to that description you just gave.
Yep.
Not only is that the center, the most protected area, but that giant Buddha that's well lit is actually a defensive mechanism with a doorway to a secret passage out, but only the leader, the guard, the head of the guard, and
Oh, nice.
and the and May and the Emperor or the master of the place knows about it, and Nine.
I mean,
Okay.
you could also just say that it's the same 5 people who have the keys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there you go.
yeah,
Same
to the-
5 people that have the keys know about, the secret passage out, which leads through the mountain and, away just in case something ever happens. So there can be an escape. But
Oh.
nobody knows about it. And the defense that big Buddha is that when everybody passes through, they can hit a lever and the Buddha will collapse outward, blocking the passage so they can't be chased.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that works.
So
I
have
dig
no
it.
XP.
All right. So, anybody else doing any other preparations over the course of this night?
Basically, I'm gonna deal with all the able-bodied men and kind of do the same thing that Quad is doing, is giving them the thrust, dodge, parry, thrust, dodge, parry, and trying to whip these sorry old guards that you left me into some semblance of a fighting force just to be safe.
So what is it? Q, let's get down to business. But what I would have been doing. Oh, were you just singing, or were you trying to say something?
No, I was saying.
But what I was gonna say is like throughout the course of the night, definitely would have been offering drinks to any women or whoever who would have wanted it. Also juices or water to children. I also would have been preparing some drinks for myself because I'm a drunken fist, so I need certain drinks to do certain things. I need to feel a certain way to fight a certain way, so I prepare a couple of drinks, to keep like I guess in my I guess knapsack or whatever you want to call it. Like I guess this is how I'm just saying that how I have my ciphers. I have like a rice wine and apple blossom rum, so I'm like basically just preparing that right now, getting that put away.
I'm gonna go actually talk to Zhao and Da.
Yeah.
Can I
you
do
gather.
one thing before that?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'd like to do like a monkey flip to like the tallest cart, and I want to give like a public speech trying to calm down the people.
Yeah, you see, as soon as you jump, you see the faces now. These ain't the people. These are your people. As you standing on top of this cart, you looking down at. You went to temple with most of these people. You've played with their children. You've sold and bought from their carts. They have bought from you. These are friends of your mother, friends of your father. As you looking down at these people, what do you say to them that are obviously feeling pain and sorrow?
Today was a dark day, but our people are tough. We have made it here to this temple, and we will not be taken down. I want everyone here to know that I will do whatever is in my power to make sure that you all make it out of this alive. And sleep peacefully tonight, or the next few days may be a challenge.
You hear Zhao Ho first like a slow murmur as the it starts to get louder and louder because it's their hometown boy, trying to raise their spirits up, and it becomes almost like a scream. Zhao Ho, Zhao Ho, Zhao Ho. And then the guards come and like try to calm everybody down.
I'd help them calm down.
After a few minutes of this chat going on.
That
just fall down. I'm like, Joe, I think I'm too good at this.
I just drink and just shake my head.
That night, right around 2 or 3 in the morning, you hear the sirens start blaring again, and running up the steps, whoever's on guard watch, is blaring the sounds that someone's coming up the steps. What was the name of that young kid that you sent out?
Z.
You see Z's running. up the steps. I don't know where Kai would have been during this night. Would he have went to bed?
Probably not. He probably went to a meditative state just so he could be nearby and prepared. So that's how he's resting, through meditation. But no.
So you would be woken up like, hey, sir, Z is returning, and you see Z's running up these steps, and behind him, maybe 200-300 yards, you see what looks like flame torch lights coming through the forest. And as he makes it maybe about 5 or 6 steps from the front gate, he stops and shudders. And then his body falls lifeless because his head is missing. And you see what looks like a hat like engulfed his head, pulled back, and literally took his head clean off. And he sort of looks like a chicken. You ever see when they cut the head of a chicken and it starts flapping? And you see the blood squirting, hitting onto the gate as his body falls and his leg starts kicking. I have a GM intrusion for you, Quan.
Ah, yes, I will happily accept it.
Who you gonna give the other XP to?
I'm going to give that to Kai for having witnessed something absolutely horrifying just a moment ago. I feel it's it.
You hear a scream coming from May's room, and the sound of martial arts happening.
The sound of fun.
Because it is a
I am leaping up the outside of the temple, basically, from fixture to fixture, to basically barrel in up there as quickly as I can.
As you run out your door to the hallway, right? You see a man standing in front of you, wearing the mask of what looks like a toad.
Oh no!
And he attempts to double fist punch you right back into your room. So give me a speed defense roll.
All right.
Like I can picture this so like kung fu movie-esque. Like he pops open the door and see like dust flying from the door, and then the dust from when he gets punched, like, and he stumbles back all dramatic.
Do you?
I'm just gonna roll. Yeah, I'm just gonna do speed defense here.
Oh, let's go!
You absolutely and you have a major effect. So what do you want to add to the narrative?
I'd like to basically, because I actually have a similar mask.
Oh no! Subtract that mask. That was from the last.
That was from the last one. Okay, yeah. I do not have a similar mask.
Yeah.
So basically, I'm going to, if I may, then that being the case, I'd like to basically dodge, flip, and snatch the mask off his face. If I do so, to get on the on the other side of him.
You hear that?
Flip over.
You hear that colorful, and you take the mask off his face because you are a martial arts master who's instructing. You do a flip over, and you see him turn around like almost amazed. But behind him, you see 2 other guys that are running into Maze wearing similar masks, but not like the mask they have there. That he has on, but they wear a similar ceramic mask. And here's where we'll take our first break.
Huh? Sounds good. So, guys, we'll be right back shortly. Things are getting heated, and we'll be back after a short break. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned. 1 second. Let me go ahead and put this into be right back mode soon, and be right back. Yo, it's your boy Ancient Albatross back with part 2 of the burning of Red Lotus Temple. And it's been a blast so far, but I'm going to pass it over to Spigs18 or Anthony for a quick recap of what happened in part 1.
All right, guys. So currently we have the shit about to hit the fan. Red Lotus Temple seems to be in peril right now. There's some sort of invasion going on. We currently have Jim, who is playing Quan, was attacked by a mysterious man wearing a mask that had the symbols of a toad on it, and he did some super kung fu action. The first roll of the day was a natural 20, and he flipped over the man wearing the mask and took the mask clear off his face, only to find that there was two other men wearing masks right in front of him or heading into May's quarters. We also have Kai, who's played by Dean, in a watchtower where he saw that he sent one of his youngest guards on a reconnaissance mission, only to have his head taken clear off by a flying guillotine. So that's on Dean's conscious right now. And he's currently standing on a tower with his first in command, Wang Cho, as they watch this poor kid get decapitated. And they see some sort of lights a couple of 100 yards away coming out of the forest. And it seems to be headed towards the Red Lotus Temple. We're going to start the game off with a GM intrusion for Al, if he's willing to accept it. Oh, I'm sorry, for Joe, if he's willing to accept it.
No, definitely. You know, why would I deny those? I definitely accept it.
Who you giving another XP to?
I'm gonna go ahead and give that over to my buddy or my cousin, Xiao Xiao, because, you know, he's my partner in crime. Well, not really crime, but you know what I mean. So I'm gonna give one to him, and yeah.
While Chow Chow spent the majority of the night encouraging and making sure that your village, the Shantou village that was just ransacked and raided, boosting their spirits as they went to bed, you were the exact opposite. You got drunk and passed out in Court Square with whoever was willing to drink with you. But that had its benefits. As you was passed out in the Court Squares, maybe with like 5 or 6 of the other villages that were willing to partake in the rice wine festivities, over the corner of your eye, you see what appeared to be the wall open up and a door opened, maybe about 50 or so yards away from the main gates. And you see what looks like soldiers are slowly creeping in. And there was a guard standing there, and they quickly tackled him down to the ground and slit his throat. And now there's maybe about 15 or 16 what looks like foreign invaders entering the temple from this side entrance that you didn't see, you didn't know existed in the first place.
All right, I said, damn, I must still be drunk, and I go back to sleep. No, I'm joking. No, I wake up. I wake up, and I'm obviously startled by what I just saw. A man just got killed in front of me, and I saw these people.
No, you didn't see that.
No, did you say someone got his throat slit?
No. I'm sorry. I thought you meant the decapitation.
No. That guy. Yeah, I saw that guy get killed, and I know things. There was the horns for the invasion, people coming, and so I know something's. People they're here basically. So I don't know where Xiao Xiao is in comparison to me. I want to reach him first and then run to the person in charge, which I guess would be Kai.
Where would Xiao Xiao have went to his quarters, or would he have
been drinking in the street?
Because you were literally passed out.
Yeah, in the square, like. So Xiao Xiao,
I'm probably like still kind of at the top cart, kind of like meditating on top.
So yeah, I definitely would I would run over however long that takes to him first, because he's my.
So are you trying to run over stealthily, or are you just getting up and running?
I'm just getting up and running. I'm not trying to be sneaky. I'm still hungover and mostly buzzed, so I'm not fully thinking my plan through. I'm just trying to get to him as soon as I can.
Oh, so you get up running, and now
I just get up and just, oh shit, I gotta go.
You hear you hear like mumblings, and now you notice these guys are wearing horned gold masks.
Masked Avengers.
And 3 of them start running directly towards you.
I still keep running.
Yeah. All right. So before we get to you, Dean, what are you doing on top of this tower now?
Well,
Give me a perception roll first before you do anything.
nope.
Yeah, you just all you saw was your concentration was outside, not looking in what's going on in the courtyard or what's going on in the the temple quarters. You still looking outside at this poor kid that you sent out to get decapitated. So are you sounding an alarm? What are you doing?
Definitely going to sound the alarm. I mean, there's torches and whatnot coming towards us. So yeah.
Do you direct any orders to Chow? Or
Yeah, tell Wayne, you know what? Get everybody up, shore up our defenses, and get somebody to check on Ming and Quan.
You see, he pulls out what looks like a horn, like a long, for lack of a better term, a trumpet-like object, and he starts blasting it. And as we'll go back to Quan, and Quan, in the middle of your kung fu fighting, you hear the alarm blast as you flipped over this guy. Could you give me an initiative order roll, Quan?
Righto.
Yep.
Initiative.
Okay. Unfortunately, all 3 of them beat you on the initiative order.
Oof.
So the first one, the one that you pulled his mask at, he's still in shock. So he like backs up into your room almost. And he starts like you hear him starts chanting, and he starts doing hand motions, like prepping himself. The other one starts spinning kick, and it's almost his legs are moving so fast that it's almost like a blur. He attempts to sweep kick you down. So give me a speed or might defense, whatever you want to choose to do.
I think I've got a power shift for resilience. It says might, defense rolls, and armor. So I think I'm going to go with might.
Okay.
If I can. We'll hit that button. Oh, it's not great.
You wanna you could reroll with your XP if you want.
I can reroll with my XP. I'm going to use one of those XP to reroll.
It's a difficulty 4. You need higher than a 12.
Ah! All right.
All right. So
no, he had a power shift.
Oh yeah.
So
you needed a 9 or better. You're good.
Excellent.
So he swips. He's like spins kicks, and you using might defense. You just basically brace yourself. You concentrate and take the blow, and it shatters. And you see him almost. He does like a small cartwheel turn, and all you see is his eyes because he has the mask. But there's almost like a look of shock in his eyes that you were able to absorb his blow. But as he cartwheeled out of the way, his partner, which is wearing the mask that looks like a snake, jumps over him, and you hear a hissing sound like sss, and he jumps over him, does a backflip, and his 2 fingers his hands are extended with 2 fingers that are going directly at your chest, and his fingers are swirling like a snake, and he's also going to attack you. You could do might or speed if you want.
I feel as though yeah, no, it's I'm gonna I think I don't have a just double checking something real quick. No, I don't have anything awesome to aid necessarily with speed aside from like acrobatics, but I don't think it's gonna help with the defense task. So I'm gonna go with might again since that's what I've got the power shift in.
Oh, so you're just gonna absorb and take it, right?
Yeah, I'm just basically gonna I'm like kind of blocking, that kind of thing. So he's gonna hit me, but maybe not where he planned, maybe that kind of thing. Hopefully, let's see what happens. Okay.
That's
an 8.
11.
All right. And so with the yeah, so we'd need a 12.
Unfortunately, yeah.
I'm
Unfortunately,
going to
that
spend that other XP to
Okay.
reroll that one more time, just if I may. That's better.
all right. You parry, and when you raise your hands to parry, you see his wrist almost wraps around your hand, and you hear a hissing sound as a, and he goes to like like his two fingers are extended and to like a snake fang, but you wearing like a bracelet that parries it off to the side, and he also does a backflip, and now he's standing on the shoulders of the guy wearing the centipede mask. So it's almost like a totem pole.
Yeah.
Like one's with his leg extended, stretched out, and the other one's on top of him with like two fangs extended. Now it's your action. What are you doing?
Okay.
Don't forget, you heard noise coming out of May's room.
Well, that was my question. Are they between me and May's room?
Yes, it's like a long hallway where you could attempt to just speed run past them and try to get directly into May's room if you like.
Yeah, I think what I'd like to try and do. This is now complicated maneuvers. So as I am attempting to leap up and parkour off the wall in the direction of the higher part of the totem pole,
Yeah.
I am going to attempt to use. I have whipped out my Liu Xing Chui, which is sort of this sphere on the end of this chain
Yeah.
I'm wrapping around. And what I want to try and do is use my control the field. As I'm kind of heading in that, I'm going to cast it at him as I'm sort of heading in his direction to try to grab him and yank him behind where I'm going to be, kind of in the direction, sort of the entrance to my room, sort of, so he'll be in the path of whatever it is the other guy's doing, as I attempt to bound over the head of the guy that he was just standing on top of. That's what I'm going to try to do.
Okay, we'll do it in 2 steps. The first step will be the acrobatics check to try to parkour, right?
Yeah,
and we'll
yeah.
say that's a difficulty 4 acrobatics check, so you need a 12 or better. And I
Okay.
know you trained in
I am
acrobatics.
specialized in acrobatics, it says.
All right, so you need a
so-
6 or better.
All right, let's give that a shot.
All right. You just,
Fine. All right.
so you parkour flip, and now you're gonna try to push the snake guy into your room.
Yeah. And so this is control the field, if that helps. And I guess this is a
Yeah.
might action, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And
Excellent.
it's also
I'm going to,
difficulty 4, so you can apply effort.
I am going to apply a level of effort.
Yeah.
So since doing it is 1 point, so that's in and of itself.
Yeah.
So I'll just take the 3 off here. And here we go.
With a level
Applying
effort
level
applied.
effort.
Yeah. Yeah. You. How did it look when you did this?
It's like, so it's kind of
Master-
like I'm sort of, he's flipped up. I've sort of turned, kind of like leapt up in the opposite direction, kick off the wall, and swing out. Just suddenly I've got this thing in my hand. I sort of swing out and wrap around his. It just swings out and I wrap around his leg, and then I yank. I yank him to we sail past each other. As I throw him back and I give it a twitch to undo it, as gravity carries him toward the front of my room. Meanwhile, as I leap over the head of the bottom part of the totem pole.
Do me a favor. Give me another attack to see if you slam him into the toad guy, but don't add any effort.
Okay.
Bonuses.
I will do
Or...
that.
Yeah, if you have opportunity to hit them both.
Ooh,
Oh,
hey.
nice. So you flip him into the room, and the toad guy that was flexing and concentrating, getting ready to strike her, you get slammed by his friend, and they both fall back into your room out of sight. Like they're no longer in your viewpoint. And they both take what was the damage on that? It took 1 less point of damage. So what's I
Let's
think it was
see.
4.
My strength. All tasks involving strength. 3 additional points of damage per shift. I have a power shift with strength.
So
so it's 3 plus my the looshing trait says here does 5 damage.
All right,
I
so
guess that would be
7 points.
7 points.
7 points. Yeah.
All right, and we'll say that the other guy took 4 points. They slam into the mask, the toad mask. Do you still have it in your possession?
Yeah, I actually still have it in my hand. I think in my other hand, I wasn't using it yet.
Okay, so
I haven't done anything with it yet.
If you do this amazing parkour feat, you land on your feet holding your weapon in one hand, the mask in the other, and are you knocking on May's door, or are you running
lightly like?
I am hearing martial arts sounds from that room.
The sounds of battle.
I am barging in. I'm throwing the door open and barging.
As soon as you barge in, you see May being Master Lin's daughter is no stranger to hand-to-hand combat. You see her fighting 2 masked men, but one is on the ceiling, stacked vertically down like Spider-Man would be able to, and she's parrying that one person, and the other person, she's jumping, she's on her bed, and she's like trying to kick away the other guy in the mask. So there's a man with what appears to be a lizard mask who's hanging off the ceiling, and the person that she's parrying has a scorpion mask. And okay. We'll get right back to you. We'll go to Zhao and Joe.
All right, so just to recap, I'm currently running away from those people who just infiltrated, right? So I would like to use 1 EXP for a player intrusion, if you'd allow it. Mm-hmm. I don't know where my green pen went, but if you'll allow it, I want to do while I'm running, right? Because Zhao isn't with me right now. So I want to do some kind of like animal call because I know that's his thing and like we travel together, right? So with this 1 EXP, I want to say we have this call that I can do. And in similar like exaggerated kung fu fashion, right? He's meditating wherever he is. When he hears the call, his eyes snap open. He just like basically flips into the air and lands where I am. Like, like if that's acceptable to you.
I'll give you this. It gives him an asset on his initiative roll, which I'm going to ask for right now.
Yeah, all right, I'll take that, yeah. So, whatever, the animal call. You hear a slurred, drunken animal call, and you know immediately that it's me. Yeah. So it sounds like a turkey almost, but a drunk turkey, like, you know it's me.
You also hear now that there's lights being lit up throughout the temple, and you now see that there's 12 of these masked men running in and engaging, not the 2 that are chasing you, but the rest are engaging on what little soldiers are there. And you hear the screams of, the other people that were drunk and asleep as they start to wake up and see this, like mayhem that's happening. Right. So give me, could you and, what you call it, Joe, was it? Zhao?
I call him Xiao, but yeah.
Xiao. Could you and Xiao give me initiative rolls?
I also have a shift in dexterity, which gives me bonus initiative.
Okay. Oh, you clearly won the initiative, so.
Oh, yeah, so then I also, because I have 2 shifts in dexterity as well. So let me do a quick speed roll. We're not going to add anything. I got an 8, but plus the 2 shifts is...
Yeah, your guys won. But you see these 2 horned men holding tridents are running towards... They're running towards Joe.
All right, well, I do my call... And I basically wait for... I'll let Xiao act first, but that... You see the turkey noises or whatever. And
You see me, like, jumping off the cart, and as I kind of pounce towards where Joe is... and land between him and the 2 masked men.
Mm-hmm. What are you doing? You could definitely...
I'm going to go and use a terrifying presence. I'm going to roar at them.
Oh, all right.
Like it.
So that's... I'm going to go and spend 3 intellect points. Let's try that.
Yep. All right.
That would terrify level 4 or...
Oh, they stand paralyzed. They like frozen, and which is funny because they're the ones wearing the devil mask, and you see them both like frozen in place, just standing there.
Is it good? Does it go
I
to me
tune
now,
back.
or yeah? I don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you do? Anything after the roar? Like, do you say anything to me, or do you just roar and that's you wait for me to act? Because I already know from traveling with you that roar usually means we're about to do stuff.
I turn back just to make sure you're not injured.
No,
And
as soon as you roar and turn back to see me, I'm already turning around, and you see like I already have my hands like in my like that drunken stance where it looks like I'm holding like the cups or whatever. Like you already see like I'm in that stance already, and I don't look injured.
All
or
right,
anything.
so I'm gonna get into my stance right next to you as we gonna charge in. I'm guessing.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm assuming it goes to my action, then right, Ant?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then as soon as I see that he has those guys paralyzed in fear, I charge forward and I like do my drunken fist flurry at one of them, whichever one's closest. Just you see like a bunch of like you see me. It almost looks like I'm staggering, but the hands are hitting like marks on his body. It looks very calculated, even though my body movement looks erratic.
Since they paralyzed in Freya, they normally a difficulty 3, but since they paralyzed, they're difficulty 2.
Well, if they're difficulty 2 to hit, I have shifts that make my attack 2 steps easier to hit.
Oh yeah, so how does it look like when you hit them?
Wait,
So the only thing you need to roll for is to hit a 20.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Can I roll to see if I hit a 20?
Yeah. You can also
roll
a 1.
I'm fine with rolling those dice. Let's do it. So I'm gonna do this as a speed roll. Let's just see what I get. A 12, whatever. All right, so I just run up and you see like again, it looks exactly how I described that. It looks like my body is staggering in an erratic or like uncoordinated like way, but the quickness of the like my fist coming out and blowing against this guy, there's a huge contrast between my body movement and how my hands are hitting him. And yeah, that's like you hit me up.
You see it as his body shudders, and what's the damage on that?
9.
You see his body shudders if you hit him with multiple, drunken fist attack on his chest, his shoulders, his chin. He crumbles to the ground. The other one pulls off his mask and starts running.
Yeah.
Now we'll go back. We'll go back to Kai. Kai, what are you doing?
Do I hear the sounds of battle from the?
Yes. Now you hear people screaming. You look down and you also notice that the temple 5th floor maze lights are on.
All right, so I'm probably gonna backflip off, down to the ground. Do I see the guys in the masks attacking people?
Yeah, the lights are on now. Not only are they attacking people, they, what few soldiers you have now, it's like complete mayhem in the courtyard. You notice that you actually give me a perception roll to see if you saw what happened with what you call it, Joe and oh yeah, you saw that whole instance happen, and you also see now with that 19 that remember I told you how May had that balcony?
Right.
The door, the balcony is wide open, and you see May is actually fighting 2 masked guys, and Kai. That's the moment you see Kai like burst in.
You mean Quan?
Yeah, you see Quan burst in. So you see that May is in combat as well.
Okay, so the first thing I do then, because I can't just leave my men and the civilians by themselves. When I hit the ground,
but also remember what Master Lin told you though. What was the blood oath?
Right, to protect his daughter. So, are there any of those guys in my path headed towards where May would be?
Yeah, the courtyard is full of combat now. There's all sorts of, and also with the 19 before you leave, now it's clear what's coming out of the forest. I'm gonna change the image for you real quick. When I said shit was gonna hit the fan, shit was gonna hit the fan.
Literal shitmen.
You see people now getting to the bottom of the steps. They all carrying these baskets full of flaming. and it's, you know, a good 50, 60 men all carrying these flaming baskets.
Oh.
Great. Is Wang Chu, is he still alive?
Yeah, he's right next to you.
Wang, get these people out of here. Get them to safety. You know where to move them to. I'll be there as soon as I can. And
Yeah.
I'm
You
headed.
see, he pulls out his sword and starts climbing down because he's not a martial art master like you. He starts climbing down the actual wooden steps.
All right. So I'm gonna move forward. You know, move quickly to get to May's room to make sure she's safe.
So what do you want to do? You're gonna just jump down the tower?
Yeah, you know, and then if anybody tries to get in my way, we'll be under them.
All right. So give me a difficulty 4 acrobatics check. If you have anything else that'll help that.
No, my corn nuts.
I'll just spend a level of effort. I got edge, so spend a level of effort to drop it down to a 3. Dex check.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Yeah, how did it look when you jumped down from the?
You know, as a typical scene, you know, he pulls his sword off of his back, you know, and
Oh, and as you do a backflip into the courtyard, you see the mayhem that's going on. You also see that old man, that Wang Fei Hong. He's moving as spry and as young as like a 19-year-old. And you see him, he's hand parrying, he's flipping and doing all sorts of kung fu shenanigans. And fighting one of the guys wearing the gold mask. And he just, like, your guys see each other through the corner of your eyes.
I do just like this on the edge of my hat and start sprinting towards May.
All right, so give me a difficulty 4 speed roll to see if you get to. Are you gonna try to like scale the walls or run into the building itself?
I'll probably try to scale the walls quicker.
All right, so give me a difficulty 4 speed roll to see if you can make it through there without getting into.
Just before that, I'm going to activate my ginseng oil cipher. Basically, it's a vial of ginseng, and I crush it in my hand and rub it on my heart. You know, and
post it in the chat so everybody can
there
see.
you go.
Okay. Okay. Oh, speed edge for 1 hour. Okay.
So now it puts my speed edge at 2 now. So, basically, I'm gonna, you know, push it and knock this thing out the box. Here we go. Speed. And what is that? You said difficulty 4?
Yeah. That
Okay.
doesn't.
Nope. I'm gonna spend this XP. Oh man. There we go.
Yeah, you push it through the crowd and you're gonna make it, and at the beginning of the next turn you're gonna be able to scale the building to help May. With that going on, we'll go back to Quan. Quan, you burst into the scene and you see that May is engaged with 2 of these, masked venoms. What are you doing? Well, actually, give me no, we'll keep your same initiative. No, give me a new initiative.
Okay. A little better.
What did you get?
12.
Oh, yep, you get to go first. They were.
Excellent. Okay. So I think, so I'm gonna need to do this. A little bit. This is basically the same thing. It's really kind of the same thing I just did, sort of. So I am going to leap from the doorway up onto a nearby table. As I do so, I'm going to I'm just spinning around and throwing the Yuxing Shui up at the guy on the ceiling.
Okay.
And I want to try and yank him down and send him out the door. I just take it.
Oh, like yank him backwards so he's flying across out.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and just as I'm moving in the opposite direction.
All right, so first roll a hit.
Okay, so this would be. I'm using my I'm using my control the field. Am I doing using that with this again? Right.
I love that ability.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and spend a little more effort because I cannot stop myself. All right, here we go.
That's what recovery rolls are.
That's
for.
with the level of effort.
Yep, you actually, because it's difficulty 4, you wrap it around, and now give me the might roll to push it, like you have it wrapped around him right now. Now you want to actually physically yank it back to have him fly behind you, correct?
Awesome, and I have a power shift. Here we go.
Oh.
So that'll be all right. So what happened is you have it wrapped around him, but you made him fall off the ceiling, and he lands on the bed. Right, and that gives the same moment he lands on the bed, May does a flip, like flips off the bed, and she's now not engaged with neither one of them, but on the other side of the bed next to you, and he has this thing wrapped around his leg. So you're like in a tug of war with him right now.
Yeah.
And May's turn is. Now that she's right next to you, you see her do somebody roll a d20 for me for May. She's going to do a series of strikes on the guy with the scorpion mask.
I'll go ahead and roll a d20. Oh, no, it's done.
Oh, it's already done. 7.
Yeah, he parries. You see him, like he raises his hands up and he parries them swiftly, and they both like engaged in combat now. But you see she looks at you like, we got this. All right, the guy that has the thing wrapped around his leg, he's going to attempt to break it. So give me a might roll, because he's going to attempt to like break your hold on his leg.
Here we go.
You hold tight, and not only are you holding tight, but it's now cutting into his flesh, and he's taking damage from that.
Oh,
excellent.
The one that's engaged with May. You see him drop flat to the ground, like with his stomach halfway on the bed, and the back of his legs kick forward, like almost inhumanly impossible to do. And he's going to attempt to wrap his legs around May's head. Somebody give me a speed defense roll for May.
10.
His legs wrap around May, and he throws her out the room.
Oh, jeez.
Where his other two friends, the other 3 guys are waiting.
For a second, I thought you were going to say throws her out the window.
No, he throws her out, because it was facing backwards. He throws her out the room. And now we'll go back to Joe and Zhao.
I look at Xiao Xiao, and after I had done that, knocked that guy out, and the other guy, you say he ran away, right? The other guy?
Yeah.
So I look at Xiao Xiao, I say, we got to make sure everybody's okay. Like, our people have just been attacked by these people. We have to stop them.
You see, like, as you're having this like conversation, you see now that there's several of the guards that are there's like 5 or 6 of the guards that seem to be bringing everybody to the center temple building, like having them run in. So right now there's a couple of dead bodies, scattered around of like villages that didn't make it out in time. But these 5 guards, along with Wang Chao, are making the stand in front of this temple building. Like outside the game, that's remember where we discussed has the Buddha temple?
Yes.
Yeah. But inside the game, you have no clue what, because you're not from this temple. You don't know where they live.
No, so...
But right now, it seems to be majority soldiers and these masked, like horned people in the courtyard.
Let me retroactively say something. Like, I know the words my character just said, like I said it normally, but it's crazy slurred. Like
Yeah.
like only Xiao would really be able to understand because he's heard me slur. A normal passerby would be like, "What did he just like?" Think like Boomhauer from like King of the Hill, like that.
Yeah.
Like, but he knows what I'm saying. So I say to Xiao like in my crazy slurred like, I always defer to his decision because he's like the brain, like he's smarter than me. Like I don't make good decisions. So I was like, Xiao, what do you think? Where should we go?
Yeah, the guards seem to be taking care of the villagers, but we must protect the temple so that they manage to get the villagers out. Quick, help me dispatch these soldiers.
Right away. And I just follow his lead. I follow him wherever he's gonna, lead me to.
All right, so I'll give you. You don't have to roll initiative because all these gold masks are currently engaged with, scattered around with soldiers. So you can attack first if you wanted to.
I'm gonna go ahead and do that.
All right, so you run to the first random soldier. Are you doing any sort of special move, or what are you doing?
Well, I would say that since I'm playing off these like kung fu movie tropes. I assume that as soon as he says smash those guys or whatever he told me, we both kind of just like leap in the air doing front flips, and we both like try to hit a different guard. You know what I mean? So like I don't want to flavor his attack, but that's how I'm visualizing it. Like, and we just land on like but
That sounds awesome. Yeah.
All right, since you're adding the dramatic flair, could you both give me acrobatics checks, please?
I don't
Okay.
want to flavor his movie, but I'll definitely make acrobatics check on that.
You're doing like a drunken flip, and mine looks more like a monkey.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
But
Both difficulty 4 rolls.
And I have 2 deck shifts, so it's 2 steps easier. Just
All
right
right,
after that.
the guard's a difficulty 3. The flip is actually harder than hitting the guard. Okay. Yeah.
I rolled a
you
9,
made
but
your-
but I make it with those shifts.
I have one dex.
So it's a
shift.
difficulty 3 for you.
Ah.
Oh no!
Fine.
All right, so you attempted to flip. It was like a 5th grade gymnastics competition. It looks all awkward. So the attack is going to be 1 step more difficult for you. So the guard is difficulty 4, and for you, Al, it's still difficulty 3.
And I'm landing the same way with my drunken flurry of fists. So but you see that's happening on the way down before I land. So like you see as like I'm doing the flips in the air. You see like right before I hit the ground in front of or behind the person who's fighting. Like you see me sort of spin in place in the air, and you see all these like. It looks weird because I'm like my body's flailing around in a funny way. But again, the fists look very precise. But let me go ahead and roll. I'm going to do it as a speed attack. And I'm also going to use effort. So I'll drop my speed by 1. Roll it. Yeah, it definitely hits.
What's your damage?
9 with the fist.
Oh, yeah. You. How does you do you kill him or you disable him?
Oh, he's done?
Yeah, he's done.
Oh, I just knock him out. He doesn't die. I don't kill him.
We kill him.
Oh yeah, if you want to play off the tropes, off the gory tropes like the head chopping off before, what you see is like
I will say this: they just killed. They destroyed.
all right. I'll play. All right. Okay, because I'm playing more my personal, like me out of character. Like I wouldn't want to kill anybody, but let's go ahead and go in character again. Vengeful kung fu movie thing. So again, you see that like me spinning, and then I land on the ground, right? And the guy for a second, like he stops fighting or whatever, but it doesn't look hurt or anything. But then after a few seconds, you see him like blood starts like coming out of his ears and his eyes, and he like falls to his knees, and then suddenly his head just blows up and he falls to the ground.
Oh man, he went from I'm not gonna be graphically violent to I'm gonna explode his head.
If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna go all in. Like,
But
that's what you see.
He went Hokuto no Ken on him.
That's what you saw.
He was already dead.
Yeah, he's already dead. And I just stand up after that and turn.
Give me an attack roll. For you, it's a difficulty 4 because you missed your acrobatics check.
All right, that's fine.
One's
Fine, perfectly fine.
All right, so you already know your damage is gonna kill him. Do you wanna? It wouldn't make any sense to add the extra 4 damage. So what will your major effect be on this scene?
I want to go ahead and intimidate again. I want to scare all the soldiers and let them know that.
Like, how would you go about doing
Protected.
this?
Basically, like as I land, I'm gonna go ahead and turn at all the soldiers, and just like my aura or like energy seems to just bring them all to a halt.
Mm-hmm. Are you gonna scream or
like bear growl again?
He's got the glow. He's got the glow right now.
Yeah, he has the
I don't
glow.
have to scream. I just look at them and they stop.
I know that reference, D. That's why I'm laughing.
I don't.
Last Dragon, man.
I knew that one.
I'm just here shrugging.
All right, I got a GM intrusion for you on top of that. Would you like it?
For
Yeah, I'll
sure.
take it.
Okay.
Yeah. Who you want to give the XP to?
Should probably give it to Joe. I mean,
All right.
I'll give it to Joe.
I'll take.
You see, they all frozen in fear, and then they start to run out that same side entrance they came in from. They just start to run, and at first you're like, "Oh man, I'm the man." They just ran from me, and then all of a sudden, you notice that the smoke and flames coming out from, like, flickering out of the main gates,
Oh no.
and the courtyard is starting to quickly fill with smoke, as the main gates are metal, but there's wood strips on the wall areas which are starting to catch on fire.
Do I see that too, or am I too drunk?
It's up.
I'm
you
too
tell
drunk.
me if
I'm
you-
too drunk. I don't know. I'm just looking for more of people. Like, you see me, like, even though he scared everybody away, you still see me like on the ready, like, but still like
I
stumbling.
kind of grab
like,
his shoulder and I start moving towards the front gates. To
I look at
investigate.
him, all right, and I follow him.
Oh,
till he grab my
as you
shoulder.
start running towards the front gate, you now see that there's these what looks like Manchurians are pouring these baskets that are full of pitch, flaming pitch, and they just literally pouring in front of this gate. And through the slits of the gate, you see them like one after another is pouring, and it's maybe about like a foot high of this flaming pitch that's starting to catch fire on not only the gate, but like the side walls, whatever is flammable is starting to ignite. And behind him, slowly walking up the steps, you see this figure
Uh-oh.
in between the flames.
Uh-oh. That looks like
Oh,
a
no.
bad guy.
And he's at the bottom of the steps, and behind him is an army of maybe 500 to 600 soldiers, but they all leading in step as he's slowly walking. They may be like 10 steps behind him, but he's walking like he doesn't have a care in the world as he's slowly walking up the steps. Now we'll go back to Kai, who's made it to the
room.
Yeah, made it to the wall. You're gonna give me an acrobatics check to scale to scale the building if you want to get up to the 5th floor.
Is that good enough?
What, you get, a 4? Yep.
Yeah, difficulty 4.
Yep. You scaled. How did it look when you were like grabbing from ledge to ledge? How did it look as you were scaling this building?
It was probably like your typical kung fu movie. How he, so he's kind of doing that push off and leap.
That light speed jumping.
Yeah,
And you were heading towards the balcony.
Right.
Oh, so you give me an initiative roll. Oh, all right. So you scale onto the balcony, and you see now what you call it, Quan next to May, and Quan has like some guy in a mask wrapped by his leg, and he's standing on the bed, and him and Quan are struggling, and you see May. Oh no, you don't see May. May's actually in the hallway, so you see Quan struggling with two masked men. You first in initiative, and then Quan, and then the two masked men.
Okay, so
Oh, you can let Quan go first. It doesn't matter.
yeah, Quan, go ahead. You can do what you want to do first.
Oh, okay. Seeing that
May flew out the room.
Yeah, seeing that I have a compatriot here now, which will be helpful, and knowing that I have to stay on May, I'm basically going to just at the moment when the guy is pulling the most, I'm going to let go, and, dive back out the door so that I can be out there in a position to defend May. Or to help May defend herself, rather, I should say.
Oh, that's actually pretty clever. So let's say that's a might attack, because you yanking and hoping
Using
for
leverage.
him. Yeah, you try to use your leverage. So let's say that's a might attack.
All right. I'm just going to roll this straight. Ooh.
Oh. All right. Oh. So how many points? That was another 2 points.
I think that these are probably already figured in. Actually, now that I'm looking at them, I'm guessing.
What's the damage on there?
Well, it says 5 on the weapon.
Mm-hmm.
If we're using the weapon damage.
Yeah.
I feel as though my power shift is probably factored in there. I guess because it says 5, and I realized that normally the weapon would probably be more like 2 or something.
Oh yeah, so it's 7 with the additional 2 points.
Yeah.
So you go yank, and he falls backwards. And do you want, with the AT? I'll let you. Do you want the weapon to still be wrapped around his legs as you run out? Like you're gonna leave the weapon there?
I mean, if I kind of the way I phrased it, I said I was letting go, so I kind of need to in order, unless there was some clever thing I could do to make the weapon let go.
Are you using a Kusan key?
It's the Liu Xing, yeah.
Yeah, with the using key, you can actually, there is a way to make it release its hold.
Okay,
but it's up to you guys.
I just do the release then, if I may.
All right, that's fine. He because he was on the bed struggling with you, he flips out and starts rolling towards the balcony. But you see that his leg is extremely damaged. There's blood coming from multiple angles on his leg as he's rolling towards the balcony, and you head out. I
just immediately leap out the door so that I can be there.
All right.
So as that guy is heading towards the balcony, as I come up, you see Kai, use his secret sword and shoot with the blade just to catch him. So,
all right, since he doesn't see it coming, he didn't realize you was at the balcony. I'll give you an acid on that attack.
All right, and with my weapon, I already have an asset already. All attacks are eased with that weapon. So that asset you gave me, so that drops it down to a 2. You just 6 or better. Boom.
Okay. What's the
9 points of damage? 9.
How did he die? Like how did you eliminated him?
Well, when he tumbled back up, he tumbled back off the bed. And as he stands up, and you just see my blade blossom from his throat.
And he falls lifeless as I guess you're pulling out the blade, and then you see the blood.
Yeah, as I slowly pull the blade back, the blood.
The guy wearing the scorpion mask sees that lizard just got a blade through his throat.
Yeah.
He jumps onto the bed, flips, and attempts to do like a double-sided kick to kick you off the balcony. Dean?
Oh, okay.
So give me a might or speed, depending on what you choose to do.
Well, I have resilient. All my might defenses are ease. So literally what I want to use is just try to deflect him with the blade. Just deflect his kick, his attack. So that's going to be, I'll spend a level of effort on that as well. And because I have that additional, so I need a 3 or better. Boom.
Oh, nice.
Better, barely.
I have a GM intrusion for you.
Of course, I'll take it.
Who you giving XP to?
Got to give it to Quan.
To Quan? Okay. You deflect the attack, and he flies past you, grabs onto the rail in traditional kung fu style, spins back around, and it goes to attack you again.
All right. Let's defend again.
You also parry that, and since I gave you a GM intrusion for you, he falls off the balcony.
Okay, cool.
You don't know if he's dead or not, but
right.
He like grabbed onto the balcony, his momentum spun his legs around to kick you again. You brought up your sword, parried it, and he like disappeared off the balcony.
Cool.
We go back to Quan, who runs into the hallway, and now you see running down the steps. The three of them have seemed to subdue May, and they sprinting down holding May. Like two of them, one of them has her arms pinned, the other one has her legs pinned, and standing in between you and them is the maskless toad guy. And he says, "You won't get away from me now." And he attempts to do a roundhouse kick on you.
Okay. I will do my might defense.
All right. Dang, you guys is kicking these dudes out. He goes to kick you, and you just easily parry it. We go back to we'll go back to the guys downstairs, and then we'll come back to you.
Red Lotus Temple. Hey.
Yeah. All right, so now the courtyard is full of smoke. Everything's going to be more difficult because you can't hardly see. One step. And what are you guys doing? Because there's no one to fight. The courtyard is just filling with smoke and flames are igniting.
He thought there was one guy to fight.
The guy, this is Xiao. What are we doing?
Y'all don't fight him.
I don't want to. Where's the guard? Is there a guard nearby?
Are you screaming out to a guard?
I do the turkey call again.
Yes.
Oh,
I'm screaming to the guard to go get like whoever's in charge.
You see, the most of the villages are now in the safe zone, and what guards are there, you can hardly see. Like the whole room is filling up with smoke. You feel a hand on your shoulder and goes, "Get down into the temple."
And then I stop.
You see him like pull up, and I don't know if it's Chow. I don't know if you would know who he is, but he's like, no, go, run to safety, head to the temple, run to safety.
Get whoever's in charge. Their leader is here.
Temple?
I don't know. I don't know where Master Kai is.
Okay, to the temple.
You gonna follow him into the temple?
I follow wherever Giles is going. I mean, I'm not coherent enough to know exactly what's going on, but I know I'm needed, so I follow him.
I know enough to know that I should not fight this guy right now.
The temple is the safety place.
I mean, I know that. My character's drunk.
Yeah. No, I was just saying.
I know that, so I'm going towards it.
All right, so they lead you down to the temple, like to the open end of the temple.
I drunkenly follow, like, staggering, but quick. It's oddly quick and oddly again. Even though I'm staggering and fumbling, I'm still able to keep pace.
All right.
What do we find?
So yeah, when they open the doors, there's a series of like steps, like leading you down, like taking you down into like a, like a safe spot.
All right.
I guess we'll go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say if you guys are running into the safety, I'll go back to the combat that's going on.
I mean, I'm
we'll
following.
run
I'm
with it.
following suit. Like right now, I'm on like basically drunk autopilot mode where I'm following orders.
Yeah, have you ever seen Drunken Master?
No, I haven't.
Because
You should.
Jackie Chan isn't a. Yeah, you should. He's not a drunken fool. You know what I mean?
No,
Like a drunk-
but I'm a drunken fool. Though. Like, again, I don't know tropes, so it's hard for me to play them. So sorry.
Have you seen Jackie Chan fight? Like,
I have, but not that movie.
all right, that's right.
All right. So what are we doing? Who's
All right,
next?
so I guess we'll go back to these people. So Kai, you what you call it? You what you call it? You saw the guy disappear off the balcony. What are you doing now? And you also saw Quan run out the room.
Head out the room behind Quan.
All right, so your guys
It's like,
get
where's I'll be like, where's May?
and you no longer see May. You see Quan faced off against a muscular guy without a shirt on, who's the only one there without a mask.
Ah, okay. Well, I say to Quan, where's May?
I'm going to, well, whilst fighting, I'm just going to point at the direction that I think that that they're headed.
All right. So, if possible, I will use that enhanced speed and everything else, and just bound past this guy trying to get to where May is.
All right, so give me a difficulty 4 speed roll to see if you could like sprint past.
All right, so that's gonna drop it to. I need a 6 or better.
All right, so you make it towards the steps, but you don't see them running. Like you don't see May or the other 2 masked guys.
Oh, wait a minute. I got an XP. You just gave me XP. What am I doing? I can reroll.
Yes.
Hey, much better.
Hey.
All right, so you see like you cut down the thing and you see them both running, holding May, like a vertically, like
like she rolled up in a tapestry or something.
yeah, and they running down the steps as fast as they can.
Well, since
your guys also noticed that the smoke's starting to fill up
right.
because the balcony door was open and it's just smoke. And just for the gate doors are now totally engulfed in flames.
So my plan is, since they're carrying a struggling May, I'm going to. Can I catch them? And I'll engage them in the next round.
Yes. Yeah, I would say that's a difficulty 2 roll because they carry. Yep. You engage them the next round. We'll go back to Quan.
Okay. I don't have time for this bozo. So what I'm going to do is I've got to get past him to try to do basically also what Kai is doing. So I think what I'm going to do is, by way of distraction, I'm going to try jumping over him again. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to distract him by throwing his mask at him. I held in his hand the whole time. I basically, if possible, I just want to hit him in the face with his own mask. I think that would be very satisfying as I'm attempting to leapfrog over him.
All right, so give me an acrobatics check, and
stairs.
you definitely get an asset for giving him the mask.
Make sure, try to break it on his face.
Yeah. I'm going to throw it as hard as I can.
Depending on your roll, we'll see how successful it is.
Yeah, this goes. Acrobatics.
One.
That's not very good. Oh,
Reroll.
that's not good at all. Yeah, I got 1 XP.
I'll give you
reroll.
one.
Well, he's got 3.
Yeah. Oh, he does, or
Yeah, he has 3.
I only have 2.
I had. No, I only. I
yeah, he's been
used up-
re-rolling. Yeah, so
Oh,
I
okay.
used 2. I had 2. I had 1 at the beginning. I got 1 from an intrusion, and then I used both.
let me
And
Oh,
you
then I
just gave me
I just
1.
gave you
let
one.
me
Okay.
let me use 1 for you, so you have 1 still.
If that's permitted, I
Yeah,
will happily
I mean,
accept that.
Yeah.
That's part of the rules, right? We can
Yeah,
roll it
yeah.
for the so go
Oh,
for
yeah,
it.
okay. It's been a while. All right, here we go.
There you
It's
go.
a little better.
Yeah, he had an asset. It was a 4. He had an asset, so it made it because he threw the mask at him.
Yes.
Yo, so you flip over. He goes to grab the mask. It doesn't break, but it allows you to flip over him and start running down towards the stairs.
I'm booking it.
And you could give me a difficulty 4 speed roll to see if you get it. You make it to be able to get in the initiative order.
Excellent. I'm spending effort.
Yep.
to try to make this one.
Hey.
All right, speed. Hey.
Absolutely. All right, so we'll go back to before you guys get to the door and start running down. I have a GM intrusion for you, Al.
For me?
Yep.
I'll take it.
Who are you giving an XP to?
I'll give 1 EXP to Kai.
All this while that the flames have been catching on the door, on the gates, it finally starts taking hold, and you see the gates just blow open, slamming maybe about 50, 60 feet in the air as they land bouncing on the ground, and slowly walking in is Priest Pai Mei.
Pai Mei, isn't that the guy we?
Oh yes,
Isn't that
That's
the
the
legendary guy? Like,
Yeah.
Do I recognize him?
No, but I was just saying because you saw the image.
Can I use understanding to know that it's Priest Pai?
You could use understanding to see what level fighter he is.
I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, I look over to Xiao like, very worried. Say, grimace.
I'm gonna spend 2 intellect points to understand this guy.
All right. You've only seen one other fighter martial artist with an aura similar to that, and that was Master Lin.
Oh.
This is obviously a grand master of his craft. And he strolls through the flame, and it's almost magical that none of his garments even caught fire, even though there's fire all around. Not only that, the whole courtyard is full of smoke, but he has like an aura around him that the smoke is not even touching him as he's walking into the courtyard.
Look at Xiao.
Yeah, fuck that. Nope.
Do
I take a drink
I hand you one.
and then I start running.
I follow him. Where are we
I'm
running
gonna try
to?
This is the man directly responsible for killing your father. You guys are running?
I mean, again, it's his father.
You're right. You know what? You're right. I'll take a drink. I'm gonna be like, so you are the one leading this army. Once we defeat you, the whole army will collapse.
And I turn around and I take my stance as soon as he says those words. It sounds like he's ready to fight.
As you say that, Wing Chao goes, "Get inside the temple," like to everybody behind him, and he gives the last guard to pull it, and he runs directly towards this figure. And he's, like, for the Red Lotus temple as he's running. As soon as he gets
You're nowhere near strong enough.
about a foot from what you call it, from this figure, he swings his sword, and it's almost like this figure's made out of paper because his whole body just drifts backwards, like he's floating. Just from the sheer force of the wind of this guy's sword blow, pushes him back. He stops, puts his 2 arms out extended, grabs his head, and twists his neck, and his body falls lifeless. While you guys are thinking about that, we'll go back upstairs. They're running down.
And I caught him.
Yeah, you caught him. Give me an initiative roll for the both of you with them. It's difficulty 4. For you and Quan.
Well, I have Edge and with the ginseng oil. And I'm going to spend that XP because I don't want to go last.
Oh, jeez.
Quan got a 21, and you got a 12. No, 11.
Yeah.
All right, so
It'll be a
it's
12. It'll be a 12. One step up.
yeah,
11.
11. You got an 8. Kai, you got an 8 plus 3 is 11.
Oh, but I'm spending the level effort plus the.
Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't know you spent the level of effort. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So your 2 first and then them.
All right. So the guy that's got her legs, gonna figure if I free her legs, and she'll be able to do something. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a slash at him with my blade, because literally what is gonna be that typical swordsman technique where he leaps and he's like a spear, as he sails through the air. I'm gonna do that particular attack. I'm going to got my power shift in it, so this attack is eased. The damage increased by +3. The now spend a level of effort on it as well to drop it down. So I need a 6 or better.
This is the guy with the snake mask, by the way.
Okay. Boom! Booyah!
How much damage is that?
9.
9. Okay. Yeah, you slice his leg clean off because he's the one that took damage before from what you call it?
Being grabbed
Quan.
up.
Yeah, from Quan.
Yeah.
His leg gets sliced clean off, and he drops her. Like, he drops her legs.
Right.
And he goes screaming in pain to, like, hold on to his leg. What is Quan doing?
Can I just say that's his leg? I mean, just for flavor purposes, can I just do a spinning heel kick and knock him unconscious? Since he's bleeding?
You could. Yeah, you spin a heel kick him because he's out of action anyway. Yeah, you spin a heel kick him and knock him towards the wall.
Yeah. And got the sword crossbody looking at the guy like, yeah, what?
What is Quan doing?
Quan is, since we're heading downstairs anyway, this is exactly positioned so that I can perform a flying kick at the head of the man that's got hold of
Her upper body.
His upper body. And I think I'm gonna use. I have so many things I can use. I'm gonna use swipe on him.
Nice.
I think, which is it uses a speed point. Would that still be a? Would that be a speed action if I used that one? Because
Let's
not use that. No, might only. Using Thunder Palm.
All right, just so you know, with the room filling up with smoke, it's going to be harder for him to dodge. It's going to knock it one step easier, and also with Kai taking out his friend and him dropping half a May, he's dragging is going to make it one step easier. So you currently need higher than a 6.
Okay. I'm going to actually be using Thunder Palm, so this is kind of a thunder kick that's going to come out. So it's even before I'm even there at him, the strike is going to hit him as a wave of energy comes out from my foot toward his head. And so that takes 2 might, so I'm just going to use 1 might because I have an edge. And here we go. Oh, hey.
Oh.
With your natural, he's out of the picture. So, with your natural 20, you can add anything to the narrative you want.
Oh, I think it probably knocks his head clean off then.
All right.
Just what's left collapses to the ground.
There's so much decapitation in Kung Fu movies.
In this Kung Fu movie.
This Kung Fu movie.
I think it knocks his head clean off, and I land just in time to catch May's upper half before she hits the ground, before she hits the stairs.
Oh, that's awesome! Yeah, because May is going to start sliding down the stairs. Yeah. You knock his head off and manage to grab her. Also, are you guys taking the masks?
Yeah, I'll take one. I'll take the.
Because I'm gonna open up the mask to everybody. Because the only mask that you don't have no clue where is
the scorpion.
The scorpion mask.
So I'll take the. Well, he kicked the guy's head off, so maybe
Yeah.
he shattered that mask.
Oh,
Yeah.
also, you don't have access to the toad mask because
Right, because he gave that back. So I got the snake mask. I'll take the snake guy's mask.
They all do different abilities, so I'm gonna open them up for you so you can see what they do.
Yeah. I'm not trying to take a mask because it doesn't seem to be doing these guys any good. So.
Priest by May, I think we need all the help we can get.
Yeah,
that's true.
All right, so the lizard mask. The lizard mask is actually really cool. It essentially gives you the Spider-Man ability.
Ooh, nice.
And the toad mask sounds pretty good.
Which one did I open up? So we said snake is the other one you have access to, right?
Yeah, I got this. Yeah, get the snake mask.
Yeah, I'm gonna open it up so you can see it. You should be able to see it on the handouts.
Does he have to wear it to get the power?
Yes.
That's funny. We're running around with our enemy's mask on.
All right, so you caught her, and you have those two masks you could definitely take because they're right there if you want to take them. And also, it's up to you, but we lost somebody on roll 20.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So the whole wall now is on flame. The steps are on fire, and you from you're like on the second floor of the temple. I mean, of the main corridor. You hear a drumming noise, like the beating of war drums, and into the courtyard now is what looks like 20 soldiers, and then walking in, all pounding these big wooden drums. Can I get an intellect defense roll from Joe and Chow Chow?
Okay. Intellect defense. I'm trained at it. I rolled a 19.
All right, Chow, you're like frozen. You're like stopped in your tracks. And Joe, you feel like maybe because you were so drunk, it didn't affect you, but it's basically, it's just to freeze you in place. That's what the drums were for.
Can I use my 19 to say that it didn't affect Shao? Like I was blabbering about something he didn't accurately hear.
With your 19, we could say you physically shook him out of it.
Yeah, that works too. Yeah, like wake up, like whatever. Like hey.
Priest Pai Mei goes, "Where is the mistress?" You say, you hear the loud voice, almost like he had a microphone, but he doesn't. But his voice is like amplifying throughout the smoke-filled courtyard. He goes,
"I'm gonna interrupt you."
You could try.
I'm gonna yell at him. You killed my father, and then I'm gonna try to intimidate him like he just did with the drums.
He's a level 7, and I know the intimidation is level 3 or high. You could waste effort to get to 7.
Letting me know, because I would have spent all my points.
Yeah. Priest Pai Mei, we heading towards the, grand finale.
All right, in that case, I just yell at him.
Yeah. He looks at you, and he goes, "Deliver me the mistress of the temple, and all you shall live."
What you see?
Do I hear that?
No.
Yeah, it's like everyone hears it. It's like he has a microphone.
Gotcha. Well, what you call it? As he's saying this or approaching us or whatever, and he's not backing down from Xiao's yelling.
No, he's not even like. Let's picture the courtyard. Has 3 main buildings. Directly in front of him is that where the Master Lin, his family, is housed, right? Where Kai and Quan were engaged in combat. To the right of him was the barracks, and to the left of him was the temple, and behind that temple is the schoolyard where all the students are.
Gotcha.
Right? Your guys are, if I'm not mistaken, ran to the temple.
Yeah, towards
doors.
that direction. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're in front of the temple doors right now.
Instead of there, yeah. So
yeah.
Seeing that he's gonna definitely try to do something silly, or try to get the princess, not the princess, but the maiden, whatever. I would definitely try to, he said, I know he killed my uncle or his father. So I would want to get ready for what's going to happen and drink, go into my little pouch and drink one of my Cypher things. Let's see which one. I'll drink, let's go with the rice wine. It's really good. So it gives me, power, was it 3 power shifts for a minute?
Yeah. So where you put your power shifts in?
So the way I'm going to flavor this, right? I'm going to put, what is it? 1 in strength and then 2 in dexterity.
Okay.
So I hit a little bit harder, but I'm super fast or acrobatic or whatever. But after I swig it, right, like this powerful concoction of rice wine, I want to leap, very, theatrically like they do in, or what we're gonna say.
Taking a power shift would be your action. So
so then I just do that then, yeah.
Yeah. What is what you call it? What is Chow Chow doing?
Trying to figure out a reason not to charge in. I'm gonna go ahead and keep trying to yell at him to distract him, hoping that someone else does something.
He, now that this whole room is full of smoke, he's surrounded by these about 20 or so soldiers banging drums.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna try to.
The fire is also catching. Now that the fire, they opened the gates up and the pitch poured in. Whatever carts and whatever flammable material was in this open courtyard is now starting to catch flame.
The alcohol.
The alcohol that was spilled. You just see flames. No. Now look at this very moment as he's starting to walk towards the center building. At the front door, we see Kai, May, and Quan. I'll give you guys a free action before I ask for initiative.
All 4 of us?
No, Kai, Quan, and May. Yeah. Oh, you guys putting the masks on? Because they only work if you put them on.
Will we have any lore on these that how they work or whatever?
Nope.
And I don't know if I would have a reason to actually put it on.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I got the mask, but I'm not gonna metagame.
Yep.
So, no, what my character would do is, I see this guy walking, so, from being a warrior, the whole 9, the lore and all that, I probably figure out who that is, right?
Yes. He's also wearing the sigil on his chest of the what you call it, the tiger claw. Yep. And he has these big metal tiger claws on his hands.
All right. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to need this. I'm going to activate that. You basically, you see me draw my sword, and the blade almost he starts doing a form, and it's real fluid. But the blade seems to be, because the blade has these holes in it like this. So the air going between the blade, you hear it sing the blade. So you hear, and
it does additional 7 points of damage.
Right. So that's the blade being me focusing, to get the form together. And it's like, we'll see just how good your tiger style is.
What is Kai doing, and what is May doing?
You mean Quan?
Yeah, no, yeah. What is Quan doing?
Okay, so if this is the central building, so that means that it's the basement thing, the things below us, right? The shelter we set up.
It's below you to the right.
Okay. If she's got a shot to it, I think her place at this point is with her people, getting her people out. So I'm gonna suggest that she heads down there, and
would you go to suggest to her? She goes, no, if my life will save everyone, then I must go with him.
And I look over my shoulder and go, I made your father a promise. You're not
letting
going
that happen.
anywhere. And step forward.
I too am using a cipher.
Mhm.
I have, since there's so much burning around here, I pulled out a couple of sticks of incense.
You could just light it off the air.
He just picks it
And,
up and it ignites.
I pick out some 2 sticks of incense burst into flame in my hands, and I do the incense prayer, and I may just close my eyes for a second and perform a prayer. And the physical action I'm going to boost with them is, if I may, is the you can let me know if I can't do this, is the thunder palm.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna do that.
Nice.
So my hands start vibrating as the prayer completes.
All right. Oh, that's going to help you because he's a level 7. So you would have needed a 21 to hit him to begin with. All right. So everyone did an action. Can I now have initiative?
From all 4 of us?
Yep.
All right. I'm specialized in initiative, and I'm going to use effort.
So with everything that I have right now, that pushes my initiative to...
Because the number to beat is 21, guys.
I got a 10. Oh, no. That 10, I think, is plus the 6. So I got 10 plus 3, so 13. I did not beat that. Oh, wait, no. I have extra deck shifts from the juice, the wine drink.
Yeah, you said 2, right? So
yeah, so that would be 2
6.
steps. So I'm still short at 19. No, I'm using EXP to reroll this. I have too many bonuses to not reroll this.
I don't have any XP to reroll. Oh, no, actually I do because I'm at a 19 too, Al.
All right, I have 1 left after that, but I'm definitely rerolling that.
All right, does anybody beat 21? Why do I only see 4 rolls?
I forget for the
there's only 4 players.
for
That's
the
why.
for the Anthony, for the reroll. I forget. Do we have to respend effort, or I don't have to respend it, right? It's just part of it.
Because you spent the XP.
Gotcha. Okay. There we go. I'm definitely going before
I'm gonna,
now.
you know what? I'm gonna use this last XP and just because we can't go after him. All right, here we go. Pray to the gods.
I'm gonna go and spend an XP.
The number to beat is 21.
You gonna give me one, Jesus?
Yeah, I'll give you 1.
Hey. Oh, you didn't you got 12. What's your bonuses?
I'm only at a 19. I'm only at what would that be? 15? No, wait a minute. That's it.
You have 6 in bonuses. Oh, you need a 6 in bonuses. Two
Yeah,
assets.
I got it. I got it.
All right, I'm spending my effort,
All right.
and I have 1 bonus from my shifts.
Mhm.
Yes.
All right, so the only one that doesn't go before him is Quan.
With effort, I got it.
Oh, so you all go before him.
Yeah.
So I have a group intrusion for all of you. You all get 1 XP.
I'll take it.
I'll take it.
Sure.
Delightful.
May breaks free from y'all and starts running into his arms.
Oh no.
No.
And now you guys can do your actions.
Yay.
Is everyone cool if I intimidate her into paralyzed?
Scare the shit
Do
out of her.
whatever you want. If you can stop her, yeah.
You
but
can
I'm
go first, or I don't know.
I'm going after Priest by May.
Also, too, who hasn't done an intellect defense roll? That's Kai and Quan have to give me intellect defense rolls for the drumming.
Okay. Oh yeah, I'm specialized.
I'm good.
Yep, you good. You both pass.
Yay.
So Dan, those drummers are useless. He needs to get new drummers.
I mean, they got me for a little bit.
So what are you guys doing? May's running into his arms.
I'm going to. She's running into his arms. I'm just going to use like my blinding speed and attack by May. You know, like right away.
Right away.
And with all my bonuses, well, my shifts right now, I only need 3 or better. So I need a 9 or better to hit him.
All right.
Oh, natural one.
I'll give you an XP.
I still get the intrusion though.
Yeah, you still get the intrusion. Go ahead.
All right. You go. How? What was your attack looking like? Like what? How were you trying to attack him?
Basically, what the move was going to be was to shift myself in front of her, because what I wanted to do was that, you know, that move where they slide around and push her back towards the group and slash across the front of him.
All right. So when you run to slash, he immediately grabs her and like death-defying speed. You know, like you've never seen someone move as fast as this. And he grabs her behind her, pins your blade, like, you know, in between his metal claws, picks it up and throws it at, roll me a D4, and he's throwing the blade at one of your partners.
Oh boy.
Great. All right, hold on.
So I got Kai's, Zhao's 1 or 3. So that's you, Al. He's throwing the blade at you. Give me a difficulty 7 speed defense roll.
All right, so I have 4 shifts in Dex, which is help with speed defense.
2.
So I have 4. It's 4 steps easier for me to dodge out of the way. I'm also going to use effort because I have 2 speed edge. Or was that because I don't know if you gave me like extra edge as an ability. Because I don't know if that someone gave himself extra edge from using a Cypher in the previous game. Or should I have 1 or 2 edge?
You should check your sheet to see if there's extra edge on your sheet.
Oh, you would have written it?
Yeah, I would have written it.
Nope. All right, so let me fix up something here. I'm gonna go retroactively add some costs that I was doing. So I'll reduce my speed by 2 here for that one as well. All right, my speed is now where it should be, and let me roll that. Speed defense. Hey, natural 20.
All right, so he threw the blade. The blade is no longer.
I catch it.
Throw it back to me.
Yeah, if you allow that with the natural 20, I catch it and throw it back. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I catch it and throw it back with like some kind of reflexive speed you've never seen from someone so drunk.
Yeah.
Like, and not only that, like, all right, so it's coming at me, right? So this is how, just to flavor it in a cool way, right? So it's coming at me, right? I'm like, huh? Like I see it like almost cartoony, like, right? And as soon as like
flames and smoke,
and then like as soon as it like breaches, like this is like a cinematic thing, right? You see it like the camera's like looking at the fire and smoke, and you see like the tip of the blade pierce the smoke, right? As soon as that like that gives Dajo the vision on it, so he knows it's there. So as soon as like, you know, first he's scouting for it, then he sees it poke through the smoke, and his eyes get wide, like you see something flash in his eyes, and he prepares himself, right? So he sees it coming at him, and instead of catching it to throw it, right, he kind of like turns sideways to like use its momentum and grabs the hilt, right? And with the same momentum from the speed of it, right, he lets it spin him around, and he just aims in the direction of Kai and lets go. So it's all the momentum of the guy. So he just whoosh, and let go and throws it in his direction.
And since he gave me the XP to re-roll, I want to be able to try to catch it so I can strike, you know, still get my strike off if possible.
No, you rolled a 1, dude. You like get an attack on the 1.
It's still thrown at you though. It's still coming your way.
Yeah, I mean he could catch.
Gave me the 1. He gave me the re-roll because I was going to hit him anyway.
Oh, you still haven't done the re-roll. Oh, okay, right. I'm sorry. All right, yeah. So first, all right.
That's not enough to hit him.
But you still almost have your sword. I don't know if you caught it or not, but
we'll say that the sword is by his feet. Like right. It won't waste the action.
Pick it up. There we go.
Who else is going to go? He currently now has May with one hand behind him, and he parried what you call it, Kai's sword and you know threw it across the courtyard. So you know that his skills are really top notch.
I'll take my other action because it's not my other action, my actual action because that was me blocking an attack.
Yeah.
So in the same movement, right, of me like spinning with the sword and letting it go and like in that one movement, I end up crouched on one knee, and like as my hand like goes like lets go of the thing, it quickly reaches into the pouch that I have and I whip out my other Cypher to drink that as well, and that's gonna be my whole action. And that's this thing. I'm super buff right now. Oh, it doesn't have a level. Let me roll a d6 real fast to see what it is.
Additional attack for every minute. Okay.
I need to go to roll 20. 1 second. Where's roll 20? Here it is.
You got to roll a 1d6 plus 1.
Yeah, I just needed to get to the thing. So 2 minutes.
All right. Who else is going?
I'm going to leap forward and do a a thunder palm.
All right.
Sort of vibrating through the air.
All right, so he's a level 7. Whatever you got to bring it down. I know you guys stacked yourself with all sorts of abilities.
I did. So I my incense, which I can use 6 times because it's a level 6 on this. It's basically it will reduce it by 3 levels.
Oh, nice.
The difficulty. So that's basically what I'm throwing at it here. So it's.
And you can drop a level of effort into it to bring it down again, to bring it to a 3.
I can. I don't have a lot of might left.
Don't forget, guys, the first recovery roll is
Yeah, you can make it a recovery roll.
Oh, it's instant. That's right.
Yeah.
It is. It goes instant then action, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Actually, I'll go ahead and use the effort then. Why not? Why not? Indeed. This is for the entire ball of wax. So let's do that. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna roll.
I mean, even for it's usually an action, but we could say for the sake of everybody could take a recovery roll before, because either you guys are gonna die or win. So I'll let everyone take a recovery roll if you needed one.
Okay.
Like right now or with our next action?
No, right now.
All right.
Okay.
We'll flavor this as like what you call it. Our auras like what you call it. We're feeding off each other. Like let me roll a
So
D6.
Kai got 7 points.
D6 plus 1. I got
Juan
7.
got 6 points. Joe got 6 points. Oh no,
Where's
7
the
points.
recovery roll?
I got 6 plus 1, so 7. I'm full again. Let's go.
What you say, Jesus?
Never mind.
Oh, you found it. Okay. So you got 5. Everybody add those points to their respective pools.
Yep.
And now you can do your action, Quan.
Awesome. Yeah, so I don't have to be right next to him to do this, but if I'm at short range, I can hit him. So here we go.
Oof.
So,
How many bonuses did you have?
2. So I brought it down by 4. I'm going to go ahead and spend one of these XP to reroll.
Yeah. All right.
So I can beat difficulty 3 right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's better.
Oh,
Hey.
How did it look when you was doing this action, and what's the total damage?
I'm jumping down and basically pulling back, and his hand is vibrating, and as it comes forward, as I'm just like 10 between 10 and 20 feet from him.
Yeah.
The wave comes out and strikes him.
You see, when the minute you started like moving forward and creating this wave at him, you notice his body almost shimmers and he like becomes light and it starts pushing back. And for a second, you didn't think that you were able to connect, but you directly hit him in the chest and you see his body like slide back, all the while still holding May with his hand behind his back. How much damage was that?
It's 7.
7? Okay. You see him shudder a little, and you see a smile come on his face. Like, oh, I think I'm gonna enjoy this.
I'm deadly serious right now.
Are you doing any movement? Or are you staying there, like holding in position?
I'm holding position.
Who hasn't gone yet?
Jesus.
I look at him and I'm like, oh, so you think you are a tiger style master? And then I pounce at him using tiger style. I'm gonna burn both my ciphers.
So burning your ciphers will be your action. To use a cipher is one action.
So next round.
That's
Now
fine.
it's his turn.
I'm in tiger stance in front of him now.
You
I'm
can still
calling out
move.
his
Okay,
Cypher
you
code.
still move. Which cipher are you using? Because you can't use 2 ciphers in one turn. You have to use one at a
Oh,
time.
sorry about that. I'll use Horn of the Tiger.
Horn of the Tiger. Okay.
I'll
All
be
right.
increasing
that's
my
nice.
might edge.
All right.
So
Oh,
that's my whole turn, right?
Yep, and roll a d6 plus 2 to see the additional damage equal to the cipher's level.
Understood.
Yep.
There we go.
So that's an additional 7 points of damage. Nice. All
Same
right.
here. Nice.
All right. So now it's his turn. He starts moving his hands in like a circular motion, right? And then he stops and pushes his hand forward. Can everyone give me a speed defense roll?
That's my world.
You see like a circle, like almost like a whirlpool, start building like a mini tornado, and it spreads out from him. And it's a difficulty 7 speed defense roll.
Can I use it?
I'm good.
That's an action to use, the Monkey's Grace.
Oh, it was one attacked.
Oh, what? Oh, okay.
I'm probably not going to make it, but I'll go ahead and spend some effort just in case I can.
Well,
yeah, you can use that. You can use that.
Nope.
All right. Speed defense roll. Okay, so I'm gonna spend an effort. I have a shift in speed defense.
I get hurt.
Okay.
No.
Oh man.
All right. Everybody that failed it gets pushed back a long distance.
A long distance.
So if you had a building to your back,
You get slammed.
you get slammed. So it's 6 points of damage for everyone.
Alrighty.
And for the GM intrusion, the guys banging the drums stop banging the drums, open the lid of the drums, and it's more pitch tar. So flame starts now catching on to the buildings themselves. They're running and literally throwing the drum pitch onto the buildings and burning everything in the temple.
Oof.
Okay. So
Back to your guys. So everything with the flames going at the beginning of every turn, you have to give me a difficulty 4 might defense roll or take 2 points of inhalation damage from the smoke.
So I guess I'll just roll that right now.
Yep.
Might as well. Might defense.
Difficulty 4.
Oh, I rolled a 2. I'm definitely taking 2 damage.
I'll take 2 damage from that. Anthony.
All right. So Quan and
Me, I took 2 damage.
Oh, okay. No, Kai and Joe takes 2 damage.
Right. So since I did make my saving throw, the maneuver that I would have done would have been when that tornado wave came out, would have been to do the barrel roll. And as I barrel rolled, I snatched my sword.
Yeah.
And and just do the remember how Jet Li used to do that barrel roll, and then at the last second throw the punch. Well, I'm actually do that with the sword.
So
it's just like that.
All right.
I only need a 3 or better right now. I'm going to spend a level of effort to.
You need a 3 or better to hit a 21. Or difficulty 3, not a difficulty 1.
Difficulty.
Oh, I thought you needed. I was like, man,
that's a lot of bonuses.
Yeah. So I'm dropping it to a 2. I'm going to try and hurt him a lot.
You need a higher than a 6.
7 points of damage. Yes.
Oh, nice.
He takes 16 points of damage.
16?
Yep.
Nice. All right, where were you slashing at?
When it wasn't a slash, because I've seen him do that, defense thing. That's why it was just a straight maneuver, So what I wanted to look like, and because it's a kung fu movie,
Yeah.
I want to cut his beard, cut a piece of his beard off and slice him right across the face. So
Once again, you see his body. He was distracted from doing his, tornado attack, and you saw his body almost shimmer like he was about to make himself light as a feather again. And you slash and you catch a piece of the white beard. You see as it goes flying in the air, there's a little sprinkle of blood along with it, and he now has a gash. And at first he had a smile on his face. He no longer has a smile. He's looking at you with a venomous glare.
And when I hit the ground, I go, "You have offended the Red Lotus Temple and my people."
Nice.
Oh my god.
Is that a line from the movie?
It's a line. Well, it's a variation on Bruce Lee.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have offended my family and a Shaolin temple.
Anyone else? Anyone else has an action?
I mean, yes. If you got something to shout, you can go.
Talking is a free action, right?
Yeah, talk is free.
All right, cool. I look over to Joe and I'm like, Joe, can you distract him? I want to end this with the Tiger Fist.
So I mean, I look at him and say I could try, and I turn back to the the tiger. I forget his name. Pai whatever. That guy.
Pai Mei?
Pai Mei. There we go. I said it right, kind of. Either way, seeing that he just got a pretty severe blow from Kai, I want to dash in, or I guess jump in, as kung fu movies usually are, with many flips to land in his vicinity. And then when I land, I just want to try to, not distract him, but hit him. That's distracting. Being attacked by some guy who's just coming at you with a bunch of drunken fists. So I just want to just try to hit him, just jump to him and try to strike him. And because of my Cypher, the Apple Blossom Rum, I get 2 attacks.
Yep.
So I can attack him twice, I guess.
Yep.
So I'm gonna do. All right. So since I'm assuming this is a Cypher you made up, right?
Yep.
So for the the 2 strikes, if I use effort, can I use effort twice, or does this count as 1 action?
I would say that it counts as separate actions.
All right, so I can use effort twice then, basically.
Yes, correct.
All right, so I go and I do the first attack, spinning around, drunken fish, trying to knock him off.
All right, so how many steps do you lower it from 7?
So to attack him, I have the 3 steps for my shifts, because I have the 2 power shifts and the 1 extra shift from the wine.
Yep, so it drops it to 4.
4, and I'm going to use 2 effort. Or excuse me, I'm going to use 1 effort to hit him and 1 effort for damage. But it's still 2 effort.
So now you need a 9 or better.
Oh, wait, actually, I can't. I don't have enough health to do that. Enough might in my might pool.
Yeah.
You didn't add the might.
No, I got hit and stuff after that.
Yeah, he hit the wall and took 2 points from the...
Oh.
I'm pretty hurting on that front. So actually, no effort. I should have just disregarded that effort question. So I'm just gonna try to straight up roll the 12.
So you need higher than a 12.
Yep. All right, where's my might? Oh my god, I got an 11. I'm re-rolling that one for sure.
You still got another attack.
I know, but I still want to re-roll this one. Like that was just too close for my liking.
Yeah.
So I'm using one of my 2 EXP to re-roll it.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
That's amazing.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and just take my second attack.
That could be another 11.
So you see him staggering, and I guess the flashiness of this guy's moves is just too much for me.
You actually see him. He's glaring at Kai and parrying you without even looking at you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I give it
from the Matrix.
Yeah, basically. So I give it another go, and this time I actually am going to use effort. I'm going to try hard, even though it's going to put me at 2 might. I'm going to use 1 effort to hit him, not for damage. So that drops me down to 2 might. I'm going to roll it. Hey, so 1 extra damage on top of that too. So I do 10 damage.
Oh, he was glaring at, and he was parrying, and then one of your blows, you got under, you did the drunken thing, and you catch him under his arm, and you see him like maybe shift 5 feet or so to the right, and he puts his foot vertically, and you see the sand kicking up amongst this flame as he's sliding across. And now he's like, for the first time in this whole thing, that you see a slight hint of fear in his eyes.
As he's sliding,
Yeah.
I want to pounce off the nearest like wall because I'm so used to this move that Joe does that I'm just gonna go in with the tiger fist attack, swinging right at his jaw while he's still sliding.
All right, so how many steps you drop it down from a 7?
All right, I have 1 shift. I'm gonna use 1 effort. So that's gonna lower me down.
That's 5
health. So it's difficulty 5.
Mm-hmm.
I just realized I did 13 damage, not 10, but I don't want to go back because I have the damage from the other shift that I forgot to add.
Yeah.
But don't worry about it. I did 10 damage. Yeah. Hey, 19. Let's go.
Oh, how much damage is that?
I'm gonna.
So he just added 7 points. He added 7 points of damage from his Cypher.
I'm going to use Tiger Claw.
I know, but I'm saying, but your Cypher that you did.
That's 7 damage right off the bat.
Gave you additional 7 damage. And then how much damage does a Tiger Claw do?
I'm going to spend 2 points on it because that will leave me at 1 health. And that's going to add another 3. So I have an additional 10. So a total of 14 damage.
14?
Yeah.
Where were you striking him at?
As he was sliding, I basically came from the other side and struck his jaw.
So he was bleeding on one jaw, and then you see the blood splatter from his lower lip, like shoots up in the air and is mixing with the smoke. And he's in really, really bad shape now. He drops down to 1 knee, but he's not dead, but he's in really, really bad shape.
Okay. So picking myself up from where I slammed into the building. I'm already battered and bruised. I'm just like, and I'm going to again leap forward with another thunder palm, but this time, I have only 4 might left because of again getting slammed into a building.
It's that all or nothing moment, though.
I think, can I go ahead and hobble myself here? I'm going to spend all of it to get a level of effort on this.
One last
at one
if
point.
If you do that, then that means you're going to be impaired.
I will be impaired.
I think you can still walk when you're impaired, so.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm almost out anyway, so. And so here we go. I'm going to. As I am just sort of coming forward, and it starts out like it almost like a little slower, and then breaks into a run and then a leap. Just as I do it, saying, "If you want to govern the people, you must place yourself below them. If you want to lead the people, you must learn to follow them." And come in with the fist.
Oh, nice.
And I say, quoting from something that hasn't been written yet. And here we go. Okay.
Oh, these high rolls at the end.
And it's
19
reduced by 3 steps. So
you definitely hit.
It's going to be a total of 10 damage because it's normal damage for this is 7.
And plus 3.
Plus 3, yeah. All right, so how did you bring down Priest Pai Mei? How did this look?
He was probably, he said he leaped through the air, so it looked like
he was landing on top of him, I think, basically.
At this point.
I'm sending thunder down upon him from my palm to strike him down as he's down on a knee.
When you strike him in his head, he looks up at this killing blow, and you feel the top of his skull crush in. But as you start pushing down, it's almost like his body evaporates and disintegrates, and all that's left is his clothes. And then shooting forward is a big cloud of smoke that shows the image of a tiger and explodes and everyone take 2 points of damage.
Oh no!
Oh no!
And all the windows in all these buildings start shattering. And you see a tiger roar, and then just his his orange outfit on the ground with the 2 tiger claws.
Yeah, so I get blown away by that, knocked to the ground, lose my breath.
May gets blown away.
I'm knocked out.
Down to the
I'm
ground too.
unconscious now.
And May's unconscious.
I get blown back. I've got 1 point of speed left now.
Yeah.
I just sort of blown back.
Well,
I'm bleeding from the mouth and from my joint.
From everything.
You see,
I had 2 points of speed left, so
you see the drummer guys in shock and start running out of the front entrance, but this whole thing is still on fire, burning.
I try to get up after that blow, and I have 0 might right now.
I've got 6 might left and 7 speed. I'm like hurt. Everybody's hurt.
Oh.
But
What is everybody doing?
I go over.
I got 0
and
might, so
I
nothing.
go over and get May.
I mean, you just impaired. You have 0 might, so you can still move.
I go over and get May
Oh, okay.
and check her out. Is she okay? Is she alive?
Yeah, she's breathing. She's just the blast just knocked her unconscious.
Okay. I get her and I look back. I look back at the temple burning, and I go, it can be rebuilt.
On the overall view, you see all the soldiers, the Manchurian soldiers are running down the steps, and you have this backdrop of the city burning, right? Also, remember I said Priest Pai May's orange outfit is on the ground.
Yeah.
There's a seal, like a scroll that's broken with a seal by his body.
I'll grab it.
And it's the same letter that was written to Master Lin. And it says, the same exact letter, there's provinces, like a second copy of it. And it has like a fake emperor seal on it. And it says, Fang would assassinate Master Lin, all according to our plan. Thank you, everybody, for playing the Burning of Red Lotus Temple.
What a fucking...
No.
that was pretty good ending right there. I like that.
Oh, his son was a traitor.
But, yeah, that was a
Grab the tiger
fantastic
claw.
game. Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, what's the write-up on the tiger claws there, Anthony?
Taking the tiger claws?
Yeah, I do. I actually do have the tiger claws.
I just want to see the write-up on him.
As the only guy with tiger-based attacks, I would like the tiger claw.
Definitely take the tiger claws. I'm a swordsman, so
But yeah, this was super fun, Anthony. Thank you so much for running it. Thank you, Jesus and Jim, for stopping by and playing with us. Thank you, as always, Dean, for being there with us as well. And thank you, everybody out there, for watching. Whoever's watching, if you're watching now or watching on YouTube later, thank you so much. Yeah, any last words, guys, before we sign off?
I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun running. Like Al said, thanks, Jim. Thanks, Jesus, for playing with us. It was an absolute pleasure. I had fun, and you guys beat the crap out of Priest Pai May.
And I just have to say, Anthony, honestly, thank you for holding up running this till I got back from vacation. This is the first time I've actually got to play with my creations, my flavors and everything. So that was a blast. They're working pretty well. I'm going to make some adjustments, but it's good stuff, guys. This is awesome.
I am so glad I finally got to play with you all. This was great.
And the only final thing is, like Al will probably say it, but I'm going to say it first. Like, share, and subscribe, all you YouTube watchers. Hit the notification bell. We're trying to get the subscriptions up, and so we can do this on a regular basis for you.
And
Thanks for watching.
On top of that, be sure to drop a follow if you haven't on the Twitch page, because that also helps the channel growth and whatnot. Jesus, any final words before we get out of here?
I had a great time. Thank you guys.
Jim, I know you have a lot of stuff going on. Where can people find you?
Yes, I'm Jim Ryan. You can find me at OtherDoc, that's OTHERDOC, on both Twitch and Twitter, and my website, which is jimyesthatjim.com, where I have game signups for basically stuff that I have going on. Monday nights, I'm running Deadlands over on Tales from the Grim. I have usually do one-shots on my own channel on Sundays, and then I've got a bunch of stuff coming in 2020. You can feel free to check out my website and all that for various stuff upcoming, and I'm just pleased I got to be here. Finally, we worked out the schedule. I managed to play.
Yeah, it's awesome. And honestly, Jim, it was a pleasure running for you because I'm a big fan of all the stuff you do. And if you haven't caught any of Jim's stuff, I highly recommend that you do because he's an excellent game master and he has awesome stories to tell. And I enjoy listening to him, so you will too.
So Jim, whether we just let us know when you want us to come over and play in the game you're running.
And just real quick, I know you've been on before, Jesus, but I know this Midgard Gaming, or what is it that you're a part of?
Yes. Please check out twitch.tv/Midgardia. We run mostly 5th edition D&D, but we do pretty much anything. We have a very long list of games we've played, and we're always looking for new ones.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll definitely, like normal, when we put this on YouTube, all the links to all the stuff will be in the description. And yeah, so I think that'll wrap it up for us. Thank you so much, everyone out there. Again, be sure to like, share, subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Twitch, so you can get the notifications as to when we post or go live. And yeah, it's been a super blast. So from us at the CU, we will see you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.